Hey!
What's up, you handsome people and MoNKEY-LiZaRD?
We are back. We're back, everybody. Welcome.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Oh, it's
Happy
a Friday?
Friday.
Gee whiz. Nice.
Wow. Welcome to Three Men and a MoNKEY-LiZaRD and their toys. Of course, it is your home for light-hearted toy, TV, movie, and video game fun. And of course, it's got the odd MoNKEY-LiZaRD in it too. I'm your host, Bob Rum, and on our panel this evening, he's the dude. So that's what you call him. That or his dudeness, or Duda, or El Duderino. If you're not into the whole brevity thing, it's Dude's Nerdery.
What's up, everyone? I'm out of my cell and back in the nerdery, so feels good to be in the basement.
We're glad you're back in the. We're glad you're back in the
That just sounded
nerdery.
really funny. I'm out of my cell and I'm in the basement.
Man, we were worried about you in that cell, man. We were worried about you in that cell.
Yeah, man. 14 days in your bedroom is mentally taxing for sure. So I'm so glad to be in my basement.
How many packages did your wife find outside your door? Is the
Oh,
big question.
dude, there was 5 boxes, and each time a box came, she just must have dropped it, raised it overhead, and just dropped it. She's like, "You got another box."
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's hilarious.
Next on our panel, he's the king of customs, the stop motion master, the Pacific Coast Paul Oakenfold from Oakhurst Studios. Hulk
Hey,
Smash.
everybody. How's it going?
Haven.
So, I didn't know who Paul Oakenfold is. I'm going to have to look that up.
He's a famous DJ in England, like
Oh, okay.
hip-hop
All right.
house, not hip-hop, house music, techno type thing.
Apparently, you haven't seen me scratch a record.
And next on our panel, he's a DJ, a producer, a toy and video game collector, an average jester. He keeps saying that I need to mention that he's an incredible lover. I am an incredible lover. Make sure you say it. And he is the leader of the Quackian MoNKEY-LiZaRD army. It's Salacious Rum. Hi, everyone. We're back. We're back for a brilliant show tonight. We got one hell of a guest, I can tell you.
A legend.
Let me just sort this screen out. We're very small for some reason.
We
Let's
got a
try
big
it.
thumb in the corner.
There we go.
Yeah, we're worth rocking on the thumbs.
Next up. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the action figure review maestro, the short video sensei, YouTube's finest, Sean Solo.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. And welcome, Victoria. It's a pleasure having you. It's an honor to have you.
Hello. Thank you. Great to see you guys.
Welcome to the show.
And what a segue we've got, because our special guest this week needs little introduction. She's been a trailblazer on YouTube for over 8 years, proving that girls do like toys too. She's a toy expert that collects many lines from Jurassic Park to Marvel, DC, and is highly regarded in the community as a vintage collection expert. She's the podcast host for Cantina Chatter, Discoveryland, Collect, Jurassic World, and more recently, the Vintage Collection podcast. And of course, if she lived in England, she would no doubt be known as the proprietor of the Queen Vic pub. But you all know her as Victoria, the proprietor of Victoria's Cantina. Welcome, Victoria.
Welcome, Victoria. Thanks for
Welcome.
coming out.
Very kind. Too generous. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for hanging out.
Of course. Happy to.
Well, we've got tons of questions for you, Victoria, but as you know how these streams go, our community is important to us, so we need to welcome everyone that's in the chat before we get on with the questions. So thanks for joining us. Ultimate Wolf Reviews and Gaming.
Hey, he was here early, too.
Apprentice Ewok, Brandon is in the house. Hey, Brandon. Toys of the Jedi, holla. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Josh Wallin is in the house. Wow, the chat is huge, so I need to rattle through these. Mr. Josh Anderson, hello, Three Men and a MoNKEY-LiZaRD. Scuba Pete is in the house.
What's up, buddy?
Dude, Nerdery, you're in two places at once. Oh, we've got Smuggler's Canyon. Good evening, humans and monkey lizards. Mr. Smuggler must have the best hats collection on YouTube. Mr. Jonathan Redmond. Good evening, all. Hey, cats.
What's up,
Famous
cat?
girl. Mr. Simon Richardson. Hey, all. Mr. Red Ranger Chris. Okay, I think. Oh, here we go. Mr. Life Anime Gaming. Hey, Lag, how's it going? John Alds. Hopper's Creation, a fantastic customizer in the house. Tina Lynn, I'm so sorry my Nightbot kicked you out of my stream the other day. Thanks for coming back. And of course, we've got the goats. The greatest of all time, Mr. Blacked Out Ewoks, is in the place. Wow. There's the who's who of anyone on YouTube is in here tonight. Only one Kenobi. Thanks for joining us. Great lineup. Well, thanks for coming. Vintage Toy Rush.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Mr. Gary Moore. What an introduction.
Yep, lots of familiar names.
Gavin Hyde. Morning, guys. All things 80s.
People keep popping in. This is gonna be like never ending.
It's gonna be 2 hours of like reading everybody's name.
All right, guys, stream's over. Thanks for.
All right. Well, let's get to some questions and get to our first topic. We like talking about toys a lot here, Victoria. So we normally kick off the show with some discussions around toys. So we thought it was a good opportunity to start asking you about when you first started collecting and the first kind of lines that you got into and how you kind of found your way collecting toys.
Ooh, okay. So where do we begin? So for toys, I don't know when I started per se. I always had toys as a kid, all kinds of toys. It was Kenner the Real Ghostbusters, Kenner Batman, Kenner like Swamp Thing. There were Barbies, there were Polly Pocket, there was Mighty Max. You know, all the good old Kenner and Mattel, and I think Bluebird was another company, and Toy Biz. You know, all the old stuff that everybody had in the late '80s, early '90s. And it kind of just started with that. There were never not toys around me, or there weren't toys anywhere I went. My grandmother would buy us toys, aunts and uncles on birthdays, Christmas, and so forth. And they were just always such a huge presence in my life growing up. I think I seriously got into collecting, though, in '93. That's when Kenner's Jurassic Park line came out. And I was 8 years old, but I had the foresight that these were incredible. Like toys before this looked absolutely nothing like that when it came to dinosaurs. So these were just stunning. They were amazing, incredible. And I kept the boxes and I didn't play with them. I put them on the shelf and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna admire it from afar because this thing is just beautiful. And then 2 years later, The Power of the Force came out, and that was like my first that's when I really got into like Star Wars. Before that, it was just kind of like more something a little in the back of my mind. But when the toys came out, and then you'd go to Target and Walmart or wherever, and you'd see them, it was just hard to ignore them. And I just, I started collecting them, keeping them in the package, and buying extras with my allowance and with the help of family and stuff. And it just kind of went from there. And then I started collecting other things, and I grew into an adult, and I just never let it go. So here I am all these years later, still talking about toys, still collecting toys, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
And the Power of the Force, that was the muscle figures, wasn't it? The muscle Darth Vader and muscle Luke. Do you still have those figures, or are they long gone?
I do have them.
Well, what's the oldest figure that you have?
So I actually have a vintage. I have a few vintage figures like Kenner, but I didn't get those until maybe about a decade ago. But I did have, and I don't know where it came from, in my collection, I do have a vintage Zuckuss. It's not Forlom, it's Zuckuss. And I don't know where it came from. It's just, I grew up and it was just there. I don't know who gave it to me or how it got
That's
into my
pretty cool.
collection. But yeah, that'd be the oldest Star Wars figure.
Nice.
What's your most prized possession that you have? If you could only keep one, what would it be?
Out of all my collectibles, I'd say probably the Kenner Jurassic Park red T-Rex. My grandmother gave me that Christmas morning, 1993, and that was the one everybody wanted at the time. And I still have it. It's still on the shelf. It's still like, great shape. So yeah, it'd have to be that. There's so many things that I love, but that's the one that I have still that, I still really, really treasure.
That's awesome.
That's a great memory.
And you collect lots of different lines. I know. I jumped onto your Instagram for a little bit and was fascinated with your Jurassic Park collection. But how many different lines are you actively collecting at the moment?
I don't want to know. Too many. So Star Wars is always the main thing that I collect. That's always like the main number one thing. Second, it's Mattel's Jurassic World line. And then I do also Marvel Legends would probably be the third one. And I don't collect them all. I'm very selective with Marvel Legends, but I do have quite a few. I have some NECA and Super 7 Ninja Turtles. I'm actively collecting those. I have Hasbro's Ghostbusters line, the Plasma series. I've been really into that. Just kind of looking around. There's a little bit of everything. I had some Back to the Future. I got some Terminator. I've got some just random things from different toy lines that I was really shocked that they made them. Like, let's see, like Gremlins, Labyrinth, just random things. I got Toy Story.
Labyrinth?
Yeah.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Jareth?
I do. I have it's the McFarlane figure.
That's awesome. I would love to see that sometime if you post a picture of that. I love that movie. We just watched that over Christmas break, and I made my girls watch it, and they told me I was weird.
But you're definitely weird, dude.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So Victoria's Cantina has been going, I think, 8 years now on YouTube.
8 years, yes.
And it's a huge channel. You've got over 30,000 subscribers, a massive following. Why did you decide to start? What made you get into YouTube?
So, well, it's interesting. I didn't start with I didn't really think I was making a channel. Like, I just thought I was going to do some videos. And I had a big Star Wars collection already and, other things. And I started thinking, like, I started watching YouTube a lot, like around this time, 2012, around then. And I saw other channels, other people doing it. Sith Lord 229, he was just on Cantina Chatter. He was one of the first like Star Wars YouTubers, and
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, and so I saw other people doing it. And I was like, well, hey, I have all these things. Maybe I'll just do a few videos and just see what happens. And okay, one person watched it. 2 people watched it. That's cool. And then with time, I started doing more and more and more videos. And then I did the podcast. And then I started, people started like talking to me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So people care about what I have to say. So I just kind of kept on with it, doing more podcasts and going on other podcasts, doing different kinds of videos, going to conventions. It just kind of one thing led to another, and it's been interesting. It's been a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Can you remember what your first video was? And are you able to articulate how your channel has changed since that first video? That's quite a general question, I know, but we were wondering, how it's evolved from your very first video.
So the first video, I think it was Hasbro made these Star Wars 3-packs. There were 5 POA figures. They were like for the first time, like in years. This is when they brought back the 5 POA thing, and a lot of people, they weren't mass producing them, but they did these 2 sets. One was a Bespin set, and then one was a Phantom Menace set. And I think those are the first 2 reviews. I don't know which one came first. And then I started doing like Revenge of the Sith figures, just older things that I had. I guess the biggest way that the channel has changed since then is that, it started with toys and just talking about older toys. And then it evolved into newer toys, talking about newer toys that were coming out, like, and actively reviewing them. I think we were one of the first channels, I think, to do the Black Series. in 2013. And so, you know, Black Series became a huge thing for the channel. I was doing a lot of DC for a while. And then, you know, Mattel's Jurassic line came out in 2018, and that was a huge deal. So I did a lot of that, and, you know, I'm still actively collecting. It's still a huge, huge line. But I guess I would say that, you know, with any channel, it always starts with one subscriber. It starts with one person that wants to hear what you have to say. But then, you know, the more work you put into it, the more connections you make with other people through your channel, through social media, in person, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, definitely puts you on a path towards other things. So it's changed in that respect. And also, I guess, you know, I'm, you know, so thankful that so many people ask me to come onto their shows just like this, or on different podcasts, or to write an article for, you know, various websites, things like that. And that's always a lot of fun. So it's, I think meeting people and getting to know people has been just an awesome thing. And it is a weird feeling though, when you go to a convention, or even if you go to like a store, and occasionally somebody will come up and just want to shake your hand. It's a weird feeling, but it's really cool. So I think meeting people is like the coolest part of it, for sure.
For sure. The community is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all find that.
That's how we got together.
Yeah.
Same as exactly the same story. So that's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and I would say this is the best community, you know, because like, you know, with like I love Star Wars and MCU and all these other things, but there's almost no toxicity in the collector community, and it's really just people happy for each other because we're all just geeking out over our toys or things we like, and it's really just about sharing joy. And then you have people who are always helping each other out, like you know, I found this at Target, does anyone need it, you know, and just trading and shipping stuff to each other. So it's you know, there is a lot of fun in the Star Wars or MCU things, and some good discussions, but it tends to maybe get a little too toxic where you don't have that here, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great community.
So you were saying that you go to conventions and stuff and people recognize you. Do you remember the first time somebody recognized you?
Yes. I think it was 2016. I went to Comic-Con. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Toy Shiz. He's a huge Instagram account. He's on YouTube now. And he just reports on all kinds of toys and all kinds of things. He collects it all like I do. So, you know, he's, you know, same age, you know, we started collecting at the same time. And somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and I just turned around, and he was just there like, Victoria. And I'm like, my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know who you are. And he's like, Toy Shiz. And I'm like, yeah, of course I know Toy Shiz. He's like a huge Instagram, like, toy person, like huge. And so that was probably the first time that I can recall.
That's cool.
That's awesome. We've got so many questions for you, but we also want to take questions from people in the chat. And Lord Sadism is a regular in the Paddy Boys chat, and also pops up in our chat quite a bit. And he's got a question for you, Victoria, and for everyone really on the panel, which is, do you admit to work colleagues what your hobby is? I find people my age, 40 plus, accept it and even like it, but the youngsters look at me like I'm too old to be into toys. Who wants to? Do you want to go first, Victoria? Do you tell your work colleagues about your
Sure.
hobbies? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do. If I'm close enough to them, if I talk to them on a regular basis and they ask me, you know, why do you have that Star Wars shirt on today? Or, you know, why do you have that figure like on your desk? You know, what's that about? Like, you know, I'll explain, well, hey, you know, I love toys. I've been collecting them since I was a kid. And, you know, sometimes I make a video on YouTube, you know, if you want to check one out, you know, here's my card. And, yeah, it's always an interesting conversation, if nothing else. And, yeah, I tell them. In the past, I was kind of more guarded about it because it was different 5 years ago. I feel like when The Force Awakens came out, that kind of changed things. A lot of people started collecting around then.
It's true.
Yeah,
It blew up then, didn't it? It blew up around that time.
Absolutely, and it's becoming more like culturally accepted, I feel like, which is interesting because I've seen that like in if you go to Japan, like everybody like. It's only adults that collect toys. Like kids don't collect toys there. They have like Toys R Us, but all the toy stores are primarily targeted towards adults. It's so interesting, and to kind of see that sort of changing here in the U.S. to be more like that has me really enthusiastic about the future.
Even if you watch these like K-dramas, we were talking about it before the show, me and Bob, we were talking about in the K-dramas, we're watching one now and the guy works in an office and all the toys on the shelf. It's just hilarious to think like, that's how they're decorating their office on a TV show. So I see it.
Absolutely. I think is that I might have, which one is that? I may have seen it.
It's Something in the Rain is what we were watching. And the guy was like a computer programmer or gaming guy, but he had like figures. There was another one too, where the guy was in the hospital and his friend brought all his stuff and they were all the robots and action figures. It was just really fun to see like that's what the audience expects people to have, in their displays.
Yeah, I wonder how Hasbro and then fare over there. I mean, is there even a market in Japan for Hasbro?
When I was there, it was very hard to find Hasbro figures. It really was.
It's all
so
Bandai,
just like
right?
here. So it's just like here.
Just like here, yes. No, they had Toys R Us, and Toys R Us there is basically like Toys R Us here, but maybe a little better. Or, when we had Toys R Us, so yeah, by default it's better now. But yeah, like all the specialty, there was like Bic Camera, there was like Ami, just different like retail locations had. It was all Kotobukiya, it was Mayfax, Medicom, Bandai, SH Figuarts.
So all the big dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we happen to notice a Jaws video of yours that went slightly viral. Can you tell us about? Can you give us the low? Sean's fascinated by this and has been saying, make sure you ask Victoria about the Jaws video. So can you tell us about this video?
Yeah, I other than that, it did blow up a little bit.
Was it instant though? Like at the beginning, did it take a week, a month, or just did it blow up instantly?
Blew up like a year later. I don't understand it at all.
Wow.
It was weird. Like I still don't understand the YouTube algorithms and how they work. It's just randomly they'll pick something up and people will see it, and that's what happened to that video. It was fun to make. I don't do videos like that anymore, but I had a blast like doing the little scene at the beginning. So to see it like take off, I don't know if it was that scene or what it was about that video, but it just, I love Jaws, so I'm glad if it had to be one of the videos that it was that one.
And it has over 1 million views today, something like that?
It has, no, it's like 10 million or
what?
It's something like that.
10 million, come on, Sean.
Is that your most
That's
viewed?
crazy.
Is that your most viewed, Victoria, or?
It might be. I think
That's
it is.
cool.
It is cool, and it's a really good video because I remember watching it when you posted online saying, "Hey, I just hit." I thought it was 1 million at that point, and I was just fascinated because obviously, you're a leader in this YouTube community. Really, you may not know that or realize it, but everybody looks up to you.
That's very
we're really honoured that you're on our little podcast, on our little show, Victoria. It's when Dude said Victoria's agreed to come on, we were all like, we couldn't believe it. So it's amazing to have you on.
Oh, it's an honor. Thank you.
So this is around the time though where we do like to get some toys out and have a look, see what people have picked up. So is there? Who wants to start? Who wants to go first and show us what pickups they've had over the last week?
Let me show you mine because I may have to drop out for a few minutes.
Here we go.
So I'm not going to show those retro figures that I got last week, but I did pick this one up. It was kind of interesting. I actually got both of these at the same time. I haven't been able to find them in stores at all, and they were both at Best Buy, which I think is like really weird in a way that Best Buy's got stuff in stock. This is from the Dollar Tree.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to find
Dude,
one of those.
That's awesome.
Right? I mean, it's a pen holder, so it's in the stationery department. And I think that's it. It was just those two. But I was glad to find them at Best Buy. I mean, I don't go in there that often, and then I was so surprised that they actually had it seemed like all their pegs were full. So that's it.
Who's up next? Who wants to show what they've got? Look at Sean's face. Sean's desperate. You
No.
can tell.
No, I
He's
didn't
trying-
get nothing
he's
this
tr-
week. I just got the child. He was like $6.70 on Amazon this week, and I didn't have that variant where he has like the wider collar. That's the only thing I picked up this week. I'm still waiting on the Bad Batch to show up. They're still in where's that place in California? Everything gets stuck in transit.
Bellflower or
Someplace, but yeah, I'm still waiting on those.
oh, from Entertainment Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so it go
Bloomington.
Yeah, Bloomington. So
Yeah.
so the Entertainment Earth is like the weirdest thing because I think they're mailing out of some sort of a mailboxes, etc. or something because the guy probably printed out the label, which means you got the shipping notice, and they're just waiting for the one guy that works there to go put the label on the box. And then once he puts them all on the box, he probably sticks them in his car and drives them over to UPS, right? So mine said shipping Friday and then didn't move until the following week on Thursday, and then I got it on Friday.
Yeah,
It was
mine's
the
been in
weirdest thing.
Bloomington since March 8th, and what is today, the 12th? So, I mean, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
crazy. And I'm in Arizona. It's just right up the road. I could drive down there probably.
You could.
Wow.
They're in Valencia, or like just where Magic Mountain is. So
Mhm.
you could probably just drive up there and pick it up. Because it's not probably in Bloomington yet.
Yeah. And then I worry about the Ghostbusters, coming out. I'm sure Victoria's worried about that, but maybe we can get into that exclusive Ghostbuster car. I'm sure that's not going to go down too well, but maybe we'll finish up the pickups and talk about that.
Whoever said death and taxes forgot about Walmart cancellations.
Yes.
Oh, Walmart.
We've got tons of questions for you about Hasbro Pulse, pre-orders, all that kind of good stuff. Is there anything you've picked up over the last week or so, Victoria, that you've got to hand that you'd like to show?
Actually, something just came in today.
Excellent.
I haven't even taken them out yet. But I got a case from Dorkside Toys
Ooh.
of the latest vintage collection wave.
Oh,
Nice.
So-
Everybody's getting
Nice.
them.
I did cut it open just to take a peek, but I haven't actually pulled them out yet. So maybe we should take a look at a couple of them.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. All right, we'll start with the best one, of course. There's Boba Fett.
Wow.
Yeah, what a beauty.
That's a
That
beauty.
was fantastic.
And I think
It's
he's
the-
got ankle rockers this time, right? I think Boss Bounty posted a picture with some ankle rockers.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
does. He does. have
Ooh.
it.
So we're next level now.
Super, super cool.
And what's the
Um,
controversy around this, Victoria? Because wasn't it supposed to be an orange pill?
Well, so when Hasbro first showed it, yes, it had an orange name pill, orange background. The figure was or the character was in a different position. You couldn't see his legs. So they redid it to make it more like the original vintage figure. And they said, you know what? Some of the orange ones are going to get out there. A few of them will get out there. So far, nobody's found it, though.
Oh.
So if there's any, it's extreme. It seems like it's going to be really, really rare. So that's the issue surrounding that. And yeah, I don't know. This is the only case that I've gotten of this. So I'm not sure there are any orange ones out there. So here's Leia.
Oh, it's my favorite layer as well.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Hoth layer.
Yeah. Bespin Escape. It's a new card. Hasbro has never issued this card before. So this version of this character has never been on the vintage card. So that's cool.
Very cool.
Let's see what else is in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that whole wave when I see it.
Yeah, it's a must-have. Ooh, okay, so here's Grief Karga.
Ooh, another beauty.
That's
It
cool.
looks good.
Dude,
Nice
I
robe.
like that version of him. I hope we get something like that from Black Series because that's a season 2 version, isn't it?
Yes, I think fans are calling it the Magistrate outfit, but
Ooh,
I don't know if it has an official name.
well, I do like that fancy title.
Yeah. Let's see, we have here. So I think there are 4 different figures in this case. Oh no, there's 5. So here is Zutton right here, Cantina Alien Zutton.
The name just doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, he's so nostalgic though. Looking, you have to get that guy for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it sounds like they still have their eyes on Zedmore. So I think that's still Zedmore. That's still a possibility. for the future.
They should have put Snaggletooth in brackets.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant by when they said Zutmore. If they do Snaggletooth, it'll be Zutmore will be Snaggletooth and not Zutton. I don't know, understand their logic a whole lot, but okay, I'll go with it. Then we have the child, Grogu.
Oh.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so this was supposed to be 3 to a case, and I guess they made a last minute change, and now there's only 2 in a case, and there's 2 Grief Kargas because there was originally just 1. So I think that's probably a good change. So yeah, he's itty bitty.
Yeah, what kid wouldn't want that? They need to just fill the pegs with that thing for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of weird looking. I'll admit, it looks a little strange because it's mostly just accessories that are in here. But hey, it's nice to have him on his own card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the case. Those are each of the characters we get in this nice, brand new little wave here.
Very nice. Very
so
cool.
he just comes with the frog. Does he come with a little knob also, or?
Good question. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. So he has the frog and just the prion is all that he comes with. So it's very light. Like when you get this is super, super light. It's there's barely anything in there. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a review on that one.
Dude.
All right. So I had pre-ordered the whole House of X wave off Hasbro, and I've been watching everyone else enjoy their figures for like a month now. So Amazon had these up, so I just canceled 5 of the 7 pre-orders I had, and so started getting them in. So first one is Magneto in white. It's beautiful. I'm a sucker for a good Magneto.
Yeah.
And I love the little tri-sentinel heads.
Isn't
there.
that insane? That is amazing.
Look how cool he is, man. I couldn't resist this one. And for anyone who's inbox collector, these are some of the best boxes I've seen in a long time. Just the artwork is very vivid. You have your House of X logo, and then it's really cool. They have I forget the name, guys. Sorry, I'm suffering from a little brain fog. But they have I forget the name of the writing on it. But I really, really enjoy this. So I got Magneto. Cyclops came in, and I'm super psyched that we got the visor blast effect there because you absolutely need one when you have Cyclops. And then we got Charles Xavier, and this one, which might be my MVP, this Omega Sentinel. Just such a cool, unique figure. I love the way this looks. And so Wolverine that Vern had is on the way. That'll be here tomorrow. And then the other 2 I still have on pre-order from Hasbro. But I'm guessing I'm going to get those somewhere else before Hasbro decides to release them. And then I have one other thing. If those of you that follow me on Twitter, I put this together while I was in quarantine this week and really, really enjoyed it. This was a fun build. So this is Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. And definitely one of my favorite all-time ships in Star Wars. And I also think the scene with this and Boba Fett and Slave One yielded probably arguably the coolest sound effect in sci-fi. That like sonic bomb that they blow off in space there. So, but I had a lot of fun building this. It's a really, really cool Lego Starship.
That is sweet. Sweet. That's awesome.
Oh,
Absolutely
that, and then
awesome.
my daughter is a huge Into the Spider-Verse fan. She's 12 and a half, so we got her. I got her those figures, but I stole this for myself.
Oh, Spider-Ham.
Peter
I love
Porker is
my
mine.
Spider-Ham. He's so awesome. Yeah, the X-Men wave is great, but unfortunately, I'm going to skip on it. Have a little bit of discipline, but when I see them, they're epic.
What?
Well,
I'm proud of you.
You know,
Well, wait to see. And the other thing, because at first I was like, do I need Marvel Girl? She looks cool. And, it's like, I already have a Cyclops, but then they suckered me in with the visor blast, right? So I definitely was getting Magneto, was definitely getting the Omega Sentinel. And then you start looking at the whole wave, and it really is a cool wave. But I mean, you guys know I'm a huge 90s X-Men fan, and I can have a Maura McTaggart for my 90s X-Men display. And okay, so at that point I'm like, I might as well buy like the 2 extra figures and get the Build-A-Figure, because that Sentinel is awesome as a Build-A-Figure. Like, I'm really excited to put that together.
Super cool.
Is Little Salacious up?
You are up, my man.
Oh man. Okay, here we go. Let's just.
Nope.
Am I on? Am I on?
You're on. You're on.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Right, let's have a look. See what I've got. Right, I'm going to have to move the camera around. Now, we always start off with some random bits and pieces. We love Etsy. We love local artists. And we're always trying to pick up anything quacky and MoNKey-LiZaRD related. So we just loved these little Jabba the Hutt stickers. Jabba the Hutt with Salacious Crumb and a little flock of porgs. So there you go. This is from Dre D off Etsy. I'll put the link in the description. Awesome little illustrator. Love these. These are stickers. Salacious collects stickers and patches and badges and anything quacky and MoNKey-LiZaRD related. So we love those. And then you guys got excited by these, so I've picked some of these up for you. If you're a former skateboarder, what's this, Sean? Is this Santa Cruz? The Santa Cruz hand?
I've actually got the complete Screaming Hand is called, but it's Rob Roskop originally. But yeah, I have that board.
So I picked up a load of these for everyone. So this is an English illustrator on Etsy, which they're just totally rad.
It's really cool.
Really cool. He sent me a little chopper sticker and what a nice little thank you card on Ewok. I'll put his link in the description, but awesome cross skateboard, Star Wars crossover. And then you guys, this podcast is not good for your wallet. It's not good for your bank balance. You sucked me into Marvel, and now I've been sucked into DC.
Oh, dude.
My word.
It's a gateway. It's a gateway drug, my man.
I know. Amazon UK. The Joker was going for £12. I love this Joker in his Gotham uniform. I think this is from the White Knight series. Awesome figure, £12, absolute bargain. I thought, well, I've got to have a Batman. So I've started my way into that rabbit hole. What a nightmare! But they're absolute. I love these McFarlane figures. I think they're underrated, to be honest.
That's how they get you. You got Batman, then you got to get a Joker. Oh man.
Yeah. I've started troop building the Black Series Rebel Troopers because I want to recreate the Rogue One Darth Vader scene.
Yes.
Always seen. So I think I've got 4 of these Rebel Troopers now. They're pretty cheap. I was missing.
Are they really? They're expensive here. They're like 40 and up here right now.
Really?
Last time maybe like 30, 35. Yeah, last time I saw them.
This was from Amazon, and it was £10. The box is a little bit battered, but I'm going to take these ones out.
Yeah.
I missed the Skiff Guard, so I picked him up, just still picking up the odd ones that I missed. And I thought, well, I've got to have some vintage collection figures, because we've got Victoria on. But I feel a bit silly now because the case that arrived today is the old case. So I'm a little bit behind you, Victoria. This arrived for me today. I don't have any of these. The Knight of Ren. Are we going to see any more Rise of Skywalker vintage collection figures, Victoria?
Probably not anytime soon.
What a shame. We can't have one Knight of Ren, can we? I mean, what's going on? And then that's a repack, obviously, Anakin. Sean, you've been building these droids, haven't you? I think you bought 4 or 5 of these the other day.
Yep.
The TIE Fighter I love, and the Amidala sculpt's nice. And, of course, Darth Vader was part of that case as well. So that is Little Salacious's pickups over the last week. Am I back now? Yeah, you're back, Salacious. You're back. Right. Back to the questions and back to the chat. Should I just pick up on the chats and see what people have been saying? Feel free to ask Victoria something whilst I'm trying to find my way through the chat. But
yeah, a lot of skaters looks like in the chat.
Were they appreciating that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here was the next question that we had for you, actually, Victoria. So, what is your weirdest toy or weirdest collectible that you've acquired over the years?
That's an interesting question. Weirdest collectible. That is that's hard to say.
Well, well, you can think on that, because the other question is may be closer to hand, and that's your Holy Grail. So I'll put that to the chat and put that to everyone. Really, weirdest toy and Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Have you got? Is there a Holy Grail, Victoria?
I would say there is, and I would say I acquired it last year. So in 2008, Hasbro released the Legacy Collection, Big Millennium Falcon. It was, a huge release, very famous. And I was actually working at Toys R Us at the time when it came out. And it was like $120 or something, which, at the time, it's like, well, that's a lot of money for one Star Wars vehicle. And, I'm working at Toys R Us. I'm like, can I afford that? Not really. So I let it slip. I regretted it for, a good 10 years. And then finally last year through Target, they re-released it as the Galaxy's Edge Millennium Falcon for Smuggler's Run, the ride. And for me, that was like the Holy Grail. And it was just gnawing at me like for years that I didn't have it. And so this is my opportunity to get it. I jumped on it, and it's everything I wished it was and more.
Yeah, it's epic. I got mine up on the top there with LEDs. It looks sweet.
Nice.
But I love that thing.
So do you have a new Holy Grail now? Is there a next one up?
Oh, that I don't have. Let's see. If I have a Holy Grail, it's the truth is that they're not Holy Grails for very long a lot of the time. Right?
But it's like you get one and you keep going. That's a great way to do it.
Yeah. You know what? I do have one, and this one was just my fault for sleeping on it. That I missed out, and I really, really, really wanted it. Was the Hot Toys Star Wars Director Krennic. I really, really wanted that, and they just didn't make very many of them. The pre-order sold out before it even arrived, which was totally like a first.
Wow.
And and market value shot up right away on the secondary market, and it was just it's just cost prohibitive at this point. But yeah, I hope at some point they make more of those, because that's what I'd absolutely love to have.
Krennic was a good Black Series figure too. I have the Black Series one. I thought they did a nice job on that.
Yeah, he is nice.
That's a whole other rabbit hole. The Hot Toys. How many of those have you got in your collection?
Looks like plenty behind her.
Yeah.
There's a few. Yeah, I don't keep count of them because I feel like I'd start doing math, and I don't want to do math when it comes to those. But yeah, there's a few of them in there, and then I have the helmets on the bottom, the Black Series helmets on bottom. Yeah, there's a few of them in there.
And then I haven't picked up any. Like, I've only seen pictures of them. Those are considerably more expensive than a Black Series. Is that right?
Hot Toys usually start at around $220.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, well, they're 6 scale, so they're bigger.
Okay.
They're nice. They're nice, but it's a rabbit hole. It totally is a rabbit hole.
What's your favorite Hot Toy that you have?
I would say that my favorite one is probably this original A New Hope Princess Leia.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that one was kind of special to me because
That's cool.
I got her because, well, she was actually my first hot toy. And,
Salacious, can you make her big screen so I could see that better?
Yeah, she was actually my very first hot toy, and we had seen Rogue One in theater, and after Leia had that cameo, I told my husband, okay, I think I know what I want for Christmas. I want to get that Hot Toys Princess Leia, and very sadly, it was that year that Carrie Fisher passed.
Mm-hmm.
So the figure means a lot more to me now, especially because I posted on social media before. But I have this story of having had an encounter with Carrie Fisher at Star Wars Celebration in 2007. So it's just she's a really special character for me, and really the figure is gorgeous. So really appreciate that one.
I've never heard that. Do you mind sharing that? Just a little bit of that? I'd love to. That'd be really cool to hear about it.
Yeah. So okay, Star Wars Celebration 4 in Los Angeles, 2007. I was in the cafeteria. I was with a friend, and we were just taking a break. We were just getting like a snack, getting a hot dog, and so I'm in line to get the hot dog, and there's a lady standing right next to me in line, and I order my hot dog, and she's like, "I'll take one too." And I didn't look over initially because I was, I'm very, I'm always like focusing on what I'm doing, but so I go through the line this whole time. This person is next to me, and peripherally I can see she's like a little bit shorter. She's a short, petite lady, and I move over after I pay to the like the dressing area where you put your pickles and ketchup or whatever you're putting on your hot dog, and then she like follows me over there and starts doing the same thing. And then I start noticing that there's these people that kind of like start like surrounding us a little bit, and I didn't really think anything of it at first, but then I started hearing like commotion, voices, and then I just turned and looked at her, and it was like Carrie Fisher, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, it just
That's awesome.
It blew my mind. So she just kind of like smiled and like was like, "So sorry," but yeah, it got really, people noticed her, and then security had to come and pull her out. So it was so cool.
That's awesome. What a cool story.
Yeah, we've got Blue Harvest, Mark from Blue Harvest Toys in the chat, who's a massive Leia fan as well, and he's spooning a little bit at the moment. I think he's got that hot toy or a similar one. What a brilliant story. So, if you could be tempted to start collecting another toy line which you don't currently collect, which one would it be and why? That's for you, Victoria. Sorry, I don't know.
So I had been eyeing, and I'm not saying I'm not going to ever collect them, but I had been eyeing the Jakks Pacific Super Mario line that they have. It's been running a couple years now, and they're really like cool little 2.5-inch figures. And now they're making play sets and stuff for them. And I don't know that I'm never not going to like decide one day, hey, I need to check these out. But that's always how it is. Like, I'm just going to check it out. I'm just going to take a look at it and see how I like them. And then, it's like, usually the thing is I like everything is what happens, when it comes to toys. It just, and so I kind of have my eye on those. I don't know if I'm going to collect them, but yeah, those have been piquing my interest lately.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of photos of them, and I have seen them in the store, and they do look great. And they little dioramas that they come with are super cool.
Very.
I think for me, it would be Transformers if I were to add a third, because right now I'm Legends and Black Series, but I love the heck out of Transformers as a kid growing up, and I've dabbled because I picked up the crossover. So I have Gigawatt from Back to the Future, Maverick from Top Gun, and then I just got the 90s X-Men Blackbird Transformer. So I am kind of enjoying those mashups, and but it's tempting, especially when you see the Transformers. I think they just released like Hot Rod and a bunch from the Transformers cartoon from when I grew up. So I mean that it's hard to pass up.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Mine would be Transformers 2 because I've only bought 3, and that each one was like $50. Megatron, Optimus Prime, and Starscream. And that's enough for me because that's a bad rabbit hole. Every time I go in the store, I pick up all the cars like Jazz. How amazing does Jazz look? But I just can't do it, man.
I thought Hot Rod looks really cool. Like I saw a couple reviews on that, and I almost did it, but it's like I just had to remind myself is okay. I got plenty going on here between these, and if you start another one, that I gotta pay for college in 2 years for my oldest daughter. So
yeah.
We've got YouTube royalty in the house. We've got Chris Perillo joining us. Hi, Chris.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Chris loves his Star Wars Transformers. That's another rabbit hole to go down.
Yes.
Now, Victoria, we can't have you on without getting your view on some of the latest toy news. There's been lots of controversy going on around with regard to pre-ordering and things like that. So, Hasbro Pulse has just arrived in the UK. So now I haven't signed up yet. Would you recommend us Brits signing up to Hasbro Pulse, and what's your view of it? And this might lead on to some questions we've got around pre-ordering and pegs and empty shelves in shops. So Hasbro Pulse, here we go. There's a topic for you. What do you think?
So I haven't seen the UK site, so I don't know what all is on there currently. I know that I rode out the free one that they had here in the US until that ended this month. And I used it as much as I could. And now, if I want to continue it, I have to pay. I think it's like $50 or $60. I don't remember exactly, but
yeah.
The benefits of it don't seem for me to really. I don't think I can justify spending that for the benefits that they're promoting, which is basically early access to exclusives on occasion. If they continually have their products in stock, and I said, hey, I need a vintage collection Grief cargo, I'm going to jump on and order one. If I could do that and I knew that they'd always have what I needed, then I think I would seriously consider it. But for so long, it has been so hard to get things through Pulse. They constantly say sold out on top of the item. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if the UK site looks like that. If it does, then I don't think I would personally be inclined to pay for that subscription at this point.
No, so for me, I subscribed last year to Pulse, and so you have the free shipping, which is nice. But just exactly what I talked about, like, so out of the 7, I've already canceled 5 of my pre-orders and then ordered them from Amazon. So that's great that I paid $60 and it's unlimited free shipping, but it's unlimited free shipping for figures I keep canceling. And so I actually went, because I knew we were going to ask this question, out of the last 13 figures I pre-ordered from Hasbro, 11 I've canceled and were able to get within like 2 days from Target or wherever it is. And they were like still pre-ordered and not shipping. So I it's very frustrating to get, and again, these are toys, right? It's not the most important thing, but for me, I'm almost to 700 subs on YouTube. So I'm a very small channel and I'd like an opportunity to grow it, but it makes it harder when I get these, 6 weeks to 10 weeks after everyone else, because I'm getting them through Hasbro. So, what I saw someone say is like Hasbro Pulse is a good safety net because you typically have enough time to get on and pre-order. And so if you can't find it anywhere else, then you're guaranteed to get it. And that concept makes sense to me, but for $60 a year to constantly be canceling my figures or be literally the last person to get them, I'm definitely not renewing this year for myself.
Yeah, I never did sign up originally because when I did go on there, everything was sold out, like Victoria was saying, and I just don't see any benefit, honestly, in anything from them, apart from the HasLab, so.
Yep, and I would think, if you have people subscribing, and we're very loyal fans, right? And we spend a lot of money on these things. If you're doing that, why are we literally the last to get them? I think it should be the opposite. There should be a perk and reward for paying for the premium, and then you should be, it doesn't always have to be first, but it shouldn't always be last. And it's pretty frustrating, like I said, to cancel 11 out of my last 13 pre-orders, and the other 2 from the House of X-Wave are still on Hasbro, but that's only because I haven't found them anywhere else yet. And as soon as I do, I'll cancel those. Yeah.
And do you pre-order all your figures, Victoria, or do you still go toy hunting, or what's the mix, would you say, between pre-ordering and buying in the wild?
I pre-order everything that I can. If there's a pre-order for it, I'll do it because it's just so hard to find things, and it has been for a really long time. And I know a lot of people love the thrill of the hunt. For me, it's like, I can kind of forego that if I know I'm going to be able to get a figure by pre-ordering it. I still go out occasionally. I didn't for a long time, like during the pandemic, because I didn't feel it was safe to. And then I caught the virus, and then I was like, okay, well, I've got some immunity. I'm going to go out. So I started, going out and toy hunting some more. Then I got vaccinated, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to, go back to normal. So I pretty much, I'm going out, not as often, but I still, because, it's a balance of, what are the chances I'm going to find anything compared to like, what kind of time do I want to put into going to 3 Walmarts and 4 Targets, just to be empty-handed. So I kind of got to consider, those possibilities a lot, look online, see what BrickSeek says, or PopFind, or whatever those sites that don't really work anymore are. Yeah, I try and pre-order everything that I can, because I just think, I like having that peace of mind that, even if it's through Walmart, even though they're probably going to cancel it, I jump on it anyways, because, it's a little peace of mind that, if I can't find it in stores, or if I don't happen upon it, at least, hopefully I'll have one coming.
Yeah, that new Ghostbusters is going to be a nightmare. I just can't imagine. And they have vintage collection coming also.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the fact that it's possibly going to be damaged. It's just going to be
you have a
so
70%
terrible.
chance it's going to come damaged if it's from Walmart. Yeah.
Mr. Jonathan Redmond asks a question that we've all been asking and all struggling to. Maybe there is a logical answer to this, and maybe you can help us with this, Victoria. But how is it that Hasbro can run out of pre-orders? Doesn't seem to make logical sense, that.
Yeah, well, especially when some of these pre-orders we're doing 6 months in advance. That should be plenty of time to forecast, build inventory, and then ship it out to your pre-orders first.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. It's just,
Yeah,
I think
it's weird.
It's probably just some, poor accounting on the back end, or, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I know that I used to work for a toy manufacturer, and they weren't like a global thing. I mean, they were global, but they weren't like, Hasbro, Mattel. They weren't at that level. But and we had a website, but they always encouraged people not to buy from the website. They said, actually, go buy it from your local store, because we want them to keep ordering from us. We don't want you to order from the store. If you can't find it at your store, okay, order from us. But they kind of always encouraged people to buy, in their local stores. With Pulse, it's different though, because they're creating these premium accounts, and they're they're promoting these benefits for them, and then they're running out of stuff, or they're canceling the pre-orders or whatnot. So it's a little confusing for me. I don't really know what it is, other than just like bad math on their end, accounting for what the pre-orders that they have are compared to what the actual production they receive is. But like you guys are saying, they solicit these like 6 months in advance sometimes, and it still happens. So it's hard to say.
Well, in last month we were doing pre-orders for like August, September, October. I mean, so they have plenty of time. But maybe it's what you said. Maybe the bulk volume bought from Walmart or Target or whatever it is exceeds the volume they get on their website. So maybe they want to keep relations that way. But it's not good for your fans and your customers, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I suppose the pre-ordering links a little bit to. Have you been following this Fill the Pegs hashtag? A lot of toy YouTubers are filming their toy hunts and filming the empty shelves, and then using this hashtag Fill the Pegs, really as a bit of a protest, I suppose. Why have we got empty pegs in stores, specifically on certain toy lines? Is it a mechanism to increase demand by reducing supply, or don't know? Have you got a theory on that, Victoria?
I don't have a theory about it, but I mean, it's more than an observation at this point. It's not just whatever's happening at your local store. It is a trend that you see around the country here. If you go to any Target, you're bound to see a pretty good helping of Mattel branded lines and figures. But Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, Transformers, any of the stuff that Hasbro does, it's going to be a little more challenging to find. Same at Walmart. If I'm looking for Jurassic World, or I'm looking for Masters of the Universe, there's a good chance that I'll go to Target and I'll see them on the pegs. And maybe not the figure I'm looking for, but they'll have a decent smattering of them there. Whereas, if it's a Hasbro item, it's going to be really hard to find it.
Yeah, they literally put it on the pegs and it sells out instantly. And that's crap.
Yeah, the supply with Hasbro certainly isn't meeting demand, and I don't know what the rationale is behind the lack of product. It's a very glaring thing, though, when you go to a store and you see that, Hasbro Mattel Spin Master doing the Batman stuff. Always plenty of them, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's a supply issue on their end with their manufacturers, or if they just forecasted numbers so low that whatever decisions they made a year ago, 2 years ago, are still having an effect of less product.
Yeah,
there's certainly demand there for it all. Yeah, the demand is certainly there, though.
And it wasn't, back when The Last Jedi was out. I mean, those pegs had the same figures for years. So
yeah, I could still go to Walgreens and I can guarantee you I'm still going to see Jyn, Ursa, and Cassian and/or Black Series.
Yeah, yeah.
Bring back Toys R Us as collector stores. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Bosk Bounty says, I spoke to Nick and he is more than comfortable Dorkside. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a concern over here that with Hasbro Pulse, some of the independent online retailers might suffer, particularly if the exclusives go directly to Hasbro Pulse. Because we do have some good independent online retailers over here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yep. Yeah, and I actually... I do order from Big Bad Toy Store because I do like, ordering from a smaller retailer instead of giving money to Target and Walmart. And then Big Bad Toy Store, I do like that pile of loot that you can do. So if you see one figure, you can click it, have it hit the pile of loot. And then once you get enough figures, you can release them and have them all. And then it's kind of fun getting a big box. It's like a smorgasbord of figures. But, they a lot of times, if you check their website, I think, Dorkside and Entertainment Earth are probably similar, but they have stuff that just comes in randomly. That's hard to find. And it'll be up and it's, $22 instead of $19, but you click it, add it to your pile of loot. I got a ton of 90s X-Men that way in the last 6 months. Just, every couple of days I go on and I just scan it. I was able to pick up Jubilee and Bishop and just Mr. Sinister, and those are really hard, expensive figures, and they were $22 each. I was stoked to get them. Really, really excited.
Yeah, I can understand what they're saying in chat about, especially in England, you have these little stores that may go out of business because of Hasbro Pulse over there. And that is a shame, really.
Josh is saying we need to find a way to talk or interview to whoever's in charge of purchasing to get their perspective. Actually, you made a video about Mattel, a similar video about Mattel the other day, Victoria. I saw about trying to understand why there's such poor customer relations between Mattel and the customer. And you're probably close. You and the likes of Bosk Bounty are probably closer to the manufacturers than any of us. Have you had any feedback on that video from Mattel? I'm sure they're watching you, aren't they?
Yeah. No, I know they are. I published that this morning. That's the latest video on the channel. Yeah, it's where's Mattel? Why are they so silent right now? Why? I know the last year has been really hard for everybody, and but companies, of all kinds, including toy companies, Hasbro, Funko, Sideshow, they've been doing an awesome job, engaging fans, doing their Fan First Fridays, their Mando Mondays, their, Funko had their own thing in January, and Sideshow regularly is doing unboxings on YouTube, and they're answering fans' questions, and it's great to see that because it shows you that these companies, to some extent, that they're trying to maintain that dialogue. They're trying to at least on some level show that there is a concern there for the consumer, for the people that are supporting them. But with Mattel, it's just been complete silence. And that video is kind of trying to understand, why is this? Where is Mattel? Why are we learning about new products from Mattel through leaks? From random websites that nobody's ever heard of. Images that are being they're coming out of the factories or distribution centers in Asia that they're sending to people in the US. And that's how we learn about some of these things. There's no fanfare, there's no announcements. And really what spurred this is, I had been considering this video for a while, but what spurred this was earlier this week, we learned about the new Jurassic World Apatosaurus. It's a new 41-inch dinosaur. It's going to be a huge deal. And it's probably going to cost $50, I would assume. It's not going to be very expensive because, Mattel is always affordable. And Jurassic actually has the second most expensive license next to Star Wars. So, they cost money to license. But yeah, I was just like, where's Mattel? Why aren't they getting behind these products? Why aren't they showcasing how, behind the scenes of how this product came to fruition? People want to know. People want to see. There's a lot of people at home still, and like for me, this has helped when at times I've been at home, and I've really appreciated seeing that. It's like, okay, all these other things are in rough shape around the world, but at least I can watch this unboxing that the manufacturer is doing, and I have the designer there talking about how they.
Yeah, Sideshow does that a lot. I notice on their product, and it's really interesting.
Yeah,
they'll show them, one guy gets it, paints it, and he talks about it, and then obviously they do the unboxing, and then the public gets it. And you're right on. It should be that way. They're missing a huge opportunity not doing that.
Yeah.
Lord Sadism has a question for you. Do you go to thrift stores, yard sales, and what was your best ever find or bargain, if you do?
I occasionally I do. I'll go to like Salvation Army, or I'll go to Goodwill, and I'll just kind of comb through and see what's there. Flea markets I don't hit up too often. There's not a ton of them around here. When I was a kid, though, that was always like a Saturday morning tradition for me and my grandmother. We would go to the flea markets and consignment shops, and we'd look for dinosaur toys, because that's what I was really into, like before Jurassic Park came out. That's why I really appreciated that toy line, because before Jurassic Park, dinosaur toys just didn't look like that. So that was our thing. We would go and look for dinosaurs. Occasionally I wouldn't go. She'd go with my mom, and then they'd come home and they'd show me, oh, look, we bought you this dinosaur. And one time, this is actually hilarious now, and one time she showed up with this is probably 1991 or so, 1992. She showed up with a dinosaur. It was a vintage Tauntaun.
No way. That's awesome.
Hey, it's the thought that counts, but that's still awesome.
Yeah. Was it the open belly one or the closed belly?
Open belly. It was missing one of the horns on its head.
That's awesome.
I've never found anything. I've gone to the ones here locally, nothing. So
I find everything.
You do. Every week you pull something up.
You're the thrift master, Vern.
I actually, Goodwill has its own website where they do auctions like eBay, but it's stuff that's donated to the thrift store. And what I find interesting about their online auction is I always see brand new Black Series figures in the box coming from like an LA area Goodwill. And I suspect that they're probably some sort of store damage, like boxes in the warehouse got wet or something like that. So they can't resell them, and they just donate it off. And that's how those brand new figures end up like in the Goodwill auction.
That is weird.
I'm still flabbergasted from when the other week we were talking about the Kellerman book. We were having a discussion around the Star Wars Kellerman book, Victoria, which is this crazy £300 vintage Star Wars photography book. And then Vern just pulls it out. Here we go. He's getting it now. There we go. A £300 Star Wars book that everyone covets. And how much did you pay for that?
Hardback books at Goodwill are $2.99.
Brilliant.
And he went on 50% off day,
Awesome.
probably.
Yeah.
I had a 20% coupon. They have a thing that if you sign up on their website, they send you a link for like a 20% off your entire purchase coupon. And for a while, it was supposed to be good for like 30 days. But if you went on every 30 days or whatever, and then just re-signed up, you could use the original email to get like a new coupon. It was, yeah, like they fixed it though. Now it was like that for about a year.
That's super cool.
Going back to your Tom, little Salacious here likes to put Salacious B. Crumb vintage figures in his open belly Tom. Have you got any MoNKey-LiZaRD toys, Victoria? Have you got any Crumbs or Quackians?
The only ones that I have are the let's see, would be the Hasbro ones, the 3 3/4 scale ones. I think those are the only ones that I have.
Well, you collected the Power of the Force in the beginning, right? Did you ever get that the Jabba with the Salacious?
Yes, yeah. All the Hasbro ones. I believe I have it. Sans the vintage one. I don't have the vintage one.
Very good. Very impressed. Right. I tell you what, I was going to ask. Do you collect, other than the hot toys and the figures, what's your view on pops? Have you gone down that road? Have you been tempted by the pop side? This kind of splits people.
I have a few.
Yeah.
I don't actively collect them because I'd rather have like an action figure. I'd rather have something I can manipulate and move around and take pictures of. And with a pop, it just feels really limiting to me. And there's so many of them, like, I have a few. I do have a few of them, but it's not something. It's usually because it's a certain character or it's something that doesn't exist as an action figure. So I maybe have like 5 of them. I really don't have that many, and it's usually because it's like just some person or like I have a Mr. Rogers like Funko Pop. I have a Marilyn Monroe Funko Pop because I love Marilyn Monroe, but there's not a whole lot of merchandise of her. I have one of the dolls right here. You can see the pink Star Ace figure, but yeah, so things like that. It's usually because it's something that isn't really available as otherwise. So, but no, generally speaking, I tend to ignore them. I know that one day there's going to be so many landfills just filled with Funko Pops.
Yeah, it'll probably be like those Beanie Babies.
We have
some of the prices on them are outrageous.
Many. Yeah, they can get expensive, and we have so many Funko Pops because my daughters are almost 16 and 12 and a half. So it slowed down. This year is the first year it really slowed down, but Christmas, birthdays, and just, rewards, little things like that. So we have like every Disney princess, all the Disney movies, and then it evolved into Star Wars. And I have a handful, but I have 2 favorite Funkos that I have. I have Leia on a speeder bike in Endor, which is a really cool pop. And then I have Vader, Obi-Wan from the Death Star, and it comes on a platform. And they both have their lightsabers. So I grabbed that one. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So they're cool. Like I have them a couple up on my desk in my office. But for my girls, like they really love them and they would play with them and pose them. And so I think for like a younger crowd, those are a neat collectible. But so right now we have them all just kind of lumped together on a shelf, and they'll probably go in storage. But I'm going to keep them because then when they're older someday, I'll give them to them. And hopefully they appreciate in value, and then they'll have them from their childhood, and I'm sure that they'll appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool.
They'll be a hit again one day. So
yeah, well, think of how many things we had in our childhood that are gone, right? And if we just would have known, you just throw them in a box and keep them for 20 years, right?
Thundercats of all things. Crazy.
Yeah, Thundercat toys. Voltron. My Voltron growing up, I can't even imagine what
that's
would be worth now if I had that.
Yeah,
I love the heck out of that thing.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that expensive 300 one the other day. So,
when's that supposed to come?
September. So I don't have to worry about it until then.
What is that? Is that a Thundercat or something? Is it?
No, it's a big Voltron. And,
Voltron.
Because I have my 80s one from when I was a kid still, but this one, all the lines detach. It's all metal, and his posability is like insane. And I'm just gonna totally nerd out when I get it, open them.
And does each cat come apart and have its own vehicle? Yep. And then
they don't open up though. Unfortunately, I was hoping maybe they would have figures for that price.
Yeah,
they should.
They really should. How big is it for 300?
It's going to be massive.
When it's assembled. Is it
That
like
I'm
2
not
feet,
sure.
3 feet?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the specs. So it should be big.
Because I did do the HasLab Sentinel, and
That thing is gonna be big.
yeah, that's supposed to be 2.5 feet tall, and that was 250. But then you get 2 figures with. They threw it all, like you get 2 extra heads. There's 2 other figures that come with it. So it ended up, because we kept hitting each milestone, and there were so many pre-orders for it, they created new milestones because we just kept exceeding them. So I cannot wait to get that in the fall. That's gonna be my birthday gift to myself for sure.
Mm-hmm.
When's your birthday?
It's in October.
Oh,
it should be coming
Because
right at my birthday.
Mine's in February, so it's going to be my birthday present to myself too.
And my birthday's next month, so I haven't told nobody. So watch out.
And which
Vern
day
knows
is
my
that?
address.
Oh, that's a hint.
No, I'm joking. I don't need nothing.
What day is that?
It's been Darth Mark from the Pally Boys' birthday for the last 3 months.
Yeah, he let everybody know a month in advance, every day.
He actually said that he sold his Kellerman book because of the Red 5 book, which I thought about doing, but I ended up not because I was like, the shipping from and stuff like that, it made it a little bit too expensive for me.
Have you got involved in that book, Victoria? Have you seen the Read 5 book?
I don't own it. No, I wish I did.
There's a vintage collection book on Kickstarter that I backed, and I was going to ask you whether you backed that, because it seems to be taking ages to be delivered. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes, yes, I am.
And have you got any inside knowledge on that one? I think it's got to be at least 12 months ago, I think, isn't it? That one was on Kickstarter.
It's been a while.
Yeah. A brilliant question here from Mr. Smuggler. He wants to know whether you're a completionist. Where are you in terms of your vintage collection line? Have you got the whole run, or are there gaps in your collection?
For the figures, loose, yes, I have all of them. Carded, I do not. During the initial run, I was mostly collecting to open and display, but with the second run since 2018, I have been buying them all to keep carded as well and to open. But I've been going back and kind of cherry picking certain ones that I really like and appreciate. It's not an easy thing to do anymore. It's gone so expensive, but so I kind of have to space out my purchases when it comes to original vintage collection. It's kind of a weird thing to say, original vintage collection, but no, I don't have all of them carded. For the vehicles, I do have most of them. I don't have the snow speeder. That's a vehicle I just don't have.
Something weird's happening with the sound.
Some strange AV. Just isolated a few people, I think. Let's put Vern back on, see if it was.
We good?
I think we're okay. I don't know what that was.
That was weird.
Very strange.
Yeah,
must have been censored.
Yeah,
It must have been something very.
That was
Alien.
odd. Yeah. Oh, that was weird.
So we would back the Razor Crest, Victoria.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Day one, it was, absolutely. I had to, there was no way I was going to let that slip. Just like the barge, it's just, it's Star Wars, it's vintage collection.
Did you get that, Salacious?
What's that?
The Razor Crest.
Yeah, back to the Razor Crest, and I cannot. I'm just kicking myself that I didn't do the barge. At the time I was like, shall I, shan't I? And I didn't. And I'm kicking myself on that one. So yeah, I did do the Razor Crest, though. That does look good. What are the out of the vintage collection line, Victoria? What are the hard to find figures or the high value ones that spring to mind? I desperately want a B Crumb, in the little pack that was part of the San Diego Comic-Con Death Star collection. Mm-hmm. That's a hard one, and they go for big money now. Are there any other ones that are similar to that in terms of hard to get and rarity and value?
Right now, Ahsoka is. I haven't looked for myself, but I was told the other day that some of them have been selling close to $1,000. Or
Wow.
yeah, some of them. Commander Cody goes for over 100. Darth Sidious from Episode 3, General Grievous. Those are all over $100 figures. Some of the foil cards are kind of expensive too. So talking Darth Sidious or Grievous, if you can get them on a foil card. You're going to pay a little bit more, but I mean, just even a regular card they're so cost prohibitive, for a lot of people. They're just really expensive, but, yeah, no, it just amazes me how much a lot of those older figures go for, because some of them weren't that hard to find back in 2010 to 2011, 2012. But now they are, just because they don't make them anymore. And that's kind of been the trend for a lot of Star Wars stuff in recent years. And, it's just because of how awesome things used to be, in the 2000s, the early 2010s, and now they're not. And people are kind of realizing that and just discovering, this trove of all this stuff Hasbro used to do that just doesn't exist anymore. So, yeah, it's incredible. A lot of stuff has really shut up on the secondary market lately.
Mr. Josh thinks that it was Hasbro that was trying to interrupt our stream. Blue Mark thinks that it's Patrick. Super Awesome Geek, he wanted both the Razor Crest and the Big Sentinel. They are back to back, so I had to choose one.
And which one did you choose?
Which one did you pick?
Let us know, John. Which one did you go for? Was it the Razor Crest or the Sentinel? Tough one. It's a hard one.
For me, that Sentinel, I think I was in the first 300 of people to order that Sentinel. I couldn't order that fast enough. And so when I get it, that means I totally get to revamp my 90s X-Men display. And I'm pretty excited for that. I'm sure if it releases in October, I'll get it in December. So
here's a good question. So if you collect both loose and carded, are you keeping the figures that come with the crest carded, or are you opening?
I'm keeping mine carded. I only ordered one crest. It's, with Vintage Collection, I usually do one to open, one to keep box. But when, over a certain price point, I kind of have to understand that that's just not feasible for me. So it's expensive, and, I just don't have a ton of room to do that. So, yeah, no, they're staying on the cards. Thankfully, both of those characters will be available in slight variations in the Vintage Collection. I mean, I know we were talking about the Grogu Vintage Collection a little while ago. So, there's that. Would it be nice to have those versions loose? Absolutely, it would. But it's like the yak face that came with the barge. It was just, I kept that carded because, it was a special thing. And for me, these are kind of like that too.
I would ask you, Sean, but you open everything, don't you? So
yeah, I don't know though, because it's kind of scary. But because like you're saying, you can get another Mandalorian and stick him in there. So it all depends on when I look at him, and I'll go with my gut at that point. So.
Bosk is saying, believe it or not, the R2-D2 VC149 that came out in 2019 is now selling for over £60. Man, you've got to pick up these vintage collection figures, haven't you? Because some of them...
Yeah, I got one 375-inch R2 somewhere, and he makes a noise, when you push his belly. But that's the only one I've got.
That one was re-released a multitude of times from 2002 until 2013. It just kept coming back over and over and over. I probably ended up with 10 of them when all was said and done.
They're great though. I love mine. I haven't needed to buy another one. So I didn't know he was worth that much. That's crazy.
Blue Harvest is saying there was tons of them in Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, I think I got mine on clearance for probably $2 or $3 somewhere.
The Black Series 3 3/4 inch R2D2, which came out I think 2013 or 2014. I never found it at retail because that line was kind of difficult to find for most of its duration, and it took me we were talking earlier about how I was in Japan going to these stores. I found that at a specialty store in Japan, and that's the way I ended up with finally getting that figure, years later. So just interesting how that works. And it was just MSRP. It wasn't like expensive or anything.
Here's a question for you, Victoria. Well, for everyone, really. Out of all the films and TV series, what vintage collection vehicle would you have liked to have seen made?
The Ghost.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. What about you guys?
Pod racer for me. I want any form of a pod racer. I think it would just be so sweet. Anakin's preferably.
Is Vern, I can't hear you.
Oh, you're muted, Vern.
Vern's muted.
Did I mute? Have I muted him?
Vern's been muted the whole episode.
I'm sorry. It was me, Vern. I muted you.
That's all right. I don't collect the vintage collection, so not missing any vehicles.
I don't collect vintage, but I would love a Black Series TIE Interceptor.
Black Series is a different story. I'd love to. They made a Black Series Slave 1 would be awesome. They could do that. It would be probably about the size of the Cell barge, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
We're gonna get one day.
Well, and that's why I said TIE Interceptor, because I think that would be reasonably sized for a Black Series figure. And it's just the coolest TIE fighter of all time. It's Vader's TIE fighter. That's the coolest TIE fighter ever.
Yeah, there's a question. Do you have the Black Series TIE fighter, Victoria?
I do. It's in the box. I took it out, I put it together, and I couldn't find anywhere to put it, so I went back into the box, and that went into the closet. So
yeah, that is just incredibly big.
I have all the Black Series. I collect them too. The only thing I don't have is that Amazon exclusive 3-pack of the astromech droids. That's the only thing I haven't gotten, but I have everything else, I think. And I appreciate things like Ray's speeder, like the dewback, like the Wampa, but anything bigger than that just for me is, some of these things are already really big and 3 3/4, the Rancor, the sail barge, the Slave 1. It's like I can't even fathom having 6-inch versions of a lot of that stuff. So
yeah,
for my own sake, I hope they don't make those things. But it'd be interesting to see. That's for sure. But I'm perfectly content if they just stick to smaller stuff for the Black Series.
Yeah, imagine if they try to do a Falcon. It'd be like an entire dining room table to put it on there.
It would be the ceiling in your room. You'd have to hang it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Enfys. I have that Enfys Nest speeder, and it's just too long.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I got it right here. It's really cool. But
it's cool.
Look how
just too long.
It's like from Spaceballs. Like the thing. It's just. I mean, look at that. It's really look at the detail on it, though. I mean, it is exceptional all the way around. It's such a cool speeder bike. And then the Enfys Nest figure is sweet too. I really like the job they did on her. So I love it, but it won't fit in a DTOF. So if you put it in, you would have to have it this way and just have the end part sticking off of it. So I have it down with all my Lego Star Wars vehicles. But it's so cool though. I mean, look at that.
What if you lay the DTOF down horizontally and take all the shelves out?
You might have enough space. I mean, seriously, look at this.
You could do an awesome diorama, couldn't you, with that width of the
You really could. I mean, so actually what I thought, because we have I've dropped down ceiling tiles, so I actually thought at some point I'll get some invisible string and then just hang in like this and have it in flight, because I think that would look pretty cool too.
And then we'll see how many more ships will go up there.
Well, I mean, honestly, that would be cool. Behind me, if I just had a whole, and then actually we could just do the whole basement. We just walk through and there's spaceships flying everywhere. I'd love that.
Big props to Lord Sadism. He's coming up with some great questions tonight, so thank you. What would you like HasLab to make next? And do you agree with the whole idea?
I love the idea.
I don't like it at all. I think it's terrible. but I do still fall for it and go for it. But this is my first time. I didn't do the
I don't like it,
bars.
but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, the first one was ridiculous. You know, I first got into collecting again, and then they had this thing where everybody's paying. How much was it when it came out? $500 or something, or
For the cell bar.
yeah. And then first, my
Wow,
first
was
big
that much?
ship
Holy
was
cow.
$150 on the Slave One. To me, that was a lot of money, and now it's slowly getting worse. So I wish, yeah, I don't like that.
So yeah,
So
I like
here's-
the HasLab on the Marvel side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like the Sentinel, I think for $250 for all you're getting, I actually think that was fair for everything that comes with it. So I mean, there's quite a bit you can do on the Legend side. Even a Galactus would be really cool. And then now I've got the Obsidian Silver Surfer, right? And then I don't know if you for those of you that read the comics, there's a whole comic run now where Thor becomes a Herald of Galactus. Very, very cool run. So I'm sure those figures will Thor with the cosmic power is going to be an amazing Legends figure. Like, I cannot wait for that. So I think with Legends it makes a lot of sense. And I don't collect TVC at all. So for me as a Black Series collector, like it probably space wise is probably prohibitive to do something like that. But I'd love if they did every year come out with a Legends one.
I think that as long as they keep the integrity of the HasLab, I like it. What I mean by that is I don't want to see a Razor Crest at a store in 2 years when they basically said, hey, this is going to be a backed thing, because they basically used the backing to make all the molds and everything just so they can later produce a ship for retail. And if they do the same thing with the Sentinel, I will be
disingenuous.
Yeah. So as long as they maintain that integrity and say, hey, this was a HasLab, and if you backed it, you got it. If you didn't back it, you didn't get it. Then I'm for that.
Yeah.
What would you like to see next, Victoria?
The next HasLab for Star Wars? Well, I would like to see a proper Cantina. That's like a huge, it's my favorite aspect of all Star Wars is, the Mos Eisley Cantina, all the aliens, everything. If they could offer it somehow through the play sets I've been doing in recent years, then I'd be okay with that too. But if that's the only way, HasLab's the only way they can deliver like a proper one that's, screen accurate, has some lights or some fog effects or something, with the bar sections and the alcoves and everything. I think, I'd like to see that. I'd just like to see that in some form or another. It doesn't have to be a HasLab.
Just proper dioramas that collectors, because a lot of us aren't talented, well, Vern is.
I have no talent.
Yeah.
I've got no talent.
Well,
no,
you
for
have
stuff
to build
like
your
that,
own. That's what people are doing. They're
I have no talent to do that.
They came out with some amazing stuff, which is epic, but you have to literally buy 2 of them, and then there's like no background display for that.
It sounds like you're talking about the carbon freezing chamber.
Yeah.
And the hallway.
Well, you got to buy multiple hallways,
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
And that hallway was expensive, right? I remember seeing that was a premium, wasn't it?
Yep, $50 is crazy. So $100, just to have it look really cool. It looks cool on its own, though. I ain't gonna lie. I've seen pictures of it and videos. It looks great. But like Victoria's saying, LED lights, the table, the atmosphere, just everything would be epic. And they can do it. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Hoppy's Creations, Victoria?
I don't believe so.
I think Hoppy's Creations Instagram account is well worth checking out, because he does his own custom dioramas, but makes his dioramas mechanical. So Hoppy's Creations carbon freezing diorama is incredible. If you get a chance to have a look at that.
Okay, yeah, certainly. There's a lot of fans that do some really great stuff. I wouldn't personally, I don't know that I'd have the resources or want to even put the time into doing it myself, but there's some really talented folks out there, and some of them have gone on to do things like Space Walls. I'm a huge fan of Space Walls. They do some really good stuff. And going back to some of these plate sets, like the Bespin or the Tana V4 play set, like those they look nice aesthetically, but then when you get them in hand and start like trying to position them, like the floor panels pop up, or they're a little flimsy for $50. You know, they're a little flimsy. So I'd certainly like to see the quality improve, even if you got to pay a little bit more. I mean, they're already $50, so you would expect it to be a little more high tier than what they are. But you know, I'd like to see them improve those just a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, bud.
I was saying like if they were going to do a HasLab of like the maybe like a section of the Death Star, but with like multiple layers that you could actually take the shelves out of your cabinet and stick it in there and then use it for a display piece.
Or recreating that cardboard one where it had the it had the garbage trap and that would be great.
I'm just imagining, like, I'm looking at the shelves behind you, and I'm just thinking, like, if it was something that fit into a piece of furniture like that, you could then take those figures and then arrange them in different sections, you know, with different. I think that would be cool.
There are some places that build them that are DTOF sized. So I have seen some that come specifically so that they will fit into a DTOF. So I think that's a great idea. They should. I mean, if I was Hasbro, I would add that on with my Legends and Black series and do stuff like that. Because otherwise, you know, it looks cool, right? And you have the lights, right? Right, and you have all the lights and things like that. But then at the same time, it's just a clear background. So I think that could further enhance anyone's display.
Well, can you imagine, like, for the Legends, you got the Xavier School. It's like the house where, like, one level, and then you got the Danger Room or whatever, right? And it would be really cool to have multiple levels and then be able to use your figures differently in different areas. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really neat. It's just a way to take your display to another level.
Yeah.
Here's another hot topical question that's been doing the rounds on various chats. What's your view on reproduction items such as repro weapons for vintage Star Wars figures? Do you take a hard line on those, Victoria?
Not really. You know, there's a need for people to have their accessories, right? It's like I can't stand it to have a figure that's not complete of any kind. So even with modern figures, occasionally I'll lose something. You know, some of them have really little accessories, comm links and little blasters and stuff that just get lost. So, yeah, I mean, I know for vintage, it's kind of a different ball game because, you know, it's just different from modern. There's people look at it differently. If you collected vintage and you're serious about like proper vintage, then, you know, there's a lot more like, and there have been for many years, like very rigid standards that collectors have for, you know, what kind of weapon something might have or not have. But me, I'm not huge on vintage, so I feel like I have less of a say in that territory. But it'd be nice if there was a way to get accessories, like just generally, like if you were missing something. Usually what I do is, you know, eBay seller Tangori, like I don't really buy from him too often, but if he has a figure that I need I have a figure that's missing an accessory and I see he has a figure, that's usually the only reason I'll buy from him is so I can get that accessory replaced. But that's pretty much the extent of my views on those.
Hey, Salacious, Boss Bounty had a really good comment. He said, I'd like a HasLab to be a set of 10 figures that would never be made for retail. Really obscure aliens from the Cantina or Jabba's Palace. I think that'd be a really cool idea. I'd buy like a 10-pack of obscure figures like that. What about you guys?
Oh yeah.
We need more creatures. More creatures, please. More creatures, more aliens, more MoNKey-LiZarDs, please.
Well, yeah, and to me, figures like that just enrich the story you can build or tell in your display. You know, for those of you guys who, you know, see my videos, like to me, it's like a Zen garden. I like to update it every couple months, pull everything out, and just rearrange it. It's a Zenful exercise to be creative, to plan it out, and then each time you could pick. I want to tell, you know, like I just redid my Empire Strikes Back, and the main part of it was just Vader versus Luke, and then I built kind of everything around it based on the scenes they went into. But to me, that was a fun couple hours for an afternoon. It was quiet, peaceful, and relaxing. So I'd enjoy having other figures in there that could help enhance the story that you're trying to tell in your display.
Yeah, those classic characters are the lifeblood of Star Wars. Like in the vintage days, what the lines became what they were, and Chris from Bantha Skullway says this. The Star Wars toy line became what it became because of characters like Greedo, Walrus Man, Hammerhead. Those are the ones everybody remembers. And even in the 3.25-inch line, the modern era, they were always so important, so vital to that lifeblood of continuing that line, so that you could do the world building and flesh out your dioramas and have all these other characters that were just so unique. They're outside of the main characters of the story, but they help tell the story because they're part of the environment. And we just don't really see those anymore. So no, I agree with what Tim's saying. Yeah, that would be fabulous. I'd love that. As long as there was a Tonica sister in there too, then I could really get behind that.
Apprentice Ewok wants an Ewok village. You pro Ewok? Everyone? Thumbs up.
I love murder bears. Yes.
Yeah. Thumbs up if you're pro Ewok, please.
Always.
There we go. There's a unanimous decision there for you, Brandon. We're all pro Ewok here. Pro cuddly murder bear.
So, and what I always find interesting about Ewoks is, in 1983, I was 6, right? So, of course, I'm going to love little murder bears. I thought they were great. Now, would I feel the same way if that was released today and I'm 43? Would I still enjoy them like I do? But I think that's the lesson I've learned of Star Wars is those things are in there, maybe not for me, but for my kids, right? And I think, a couple episodes ago, we talked about Jar Jar. And so when Phantom Menace came out, I was a senior in college. We went to the midnight showing. We're all excited. And there was so much I love about that movie, but there were a few things I didn't. One of them was Jar Jar, but Jar Jar maybe wasn't for a 21-year-old dude on a college campus go to see Star Wars for a night. But the first time my girls watched it, they loved Jar Jar and they laughed the whole time. And for me, it totally changed my perspective of him. And I got it and I developed a big appreciation for him. So I do appreciate that about Star Wars now is that it's, there's something for me as an adult. There's something for me when I was 20. And then there's something for me when I was 6. And the important lesson I learned was when I watched Phantom Menace, that part of me that was 6 wasn't there in the theater to enjoy that. And it actually is self-limiting if you don't allow that part of you to still be there. So when I watch stuff now and watch it with my girls, I still try to have that part of me look at it from that perspective and not be like just a bitter old dude who's mad at murder bears or whatever. You know what I mean? But I think it was a good life lesson for me to see it through their eyes. And I'd much rather enjoy Jar Jar for what he is in that perspective than be mad about him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the same way because, like I was telling you before, Attack of the Clones was my worst Star Wars movie at one point. But after watching it with my 4 daughters and watching them cry over watching Anakin turn to the dark side, it became one of my favorite of all the Star Wars movies. So, because I never saw that before, it was just a mushy, crappy love story to me. So.
Oh, it's brutal.
But he was building character development is what George Lucas was doing. He was trying to be Twilight, I guess, ahead of its time.
Well, and the whole, to me, one of the most powerful scenes in Star Wars is in the Tuscan Village. You know what I mean? So he says goodbye to his mom,
so in the theater,
and when But you know what? In that moment, I wasn't horrified. I was like, yes, I would do the exact. You know what I mean? Like at that point, I was like, what else would you do? You just you find your mom like that, and then but the part I always thought was weird when he's like, and he was masterful when he's crying and he's telling Padme, like he was like exuding that emotion, and Padme's like, oh, Anakin, that's terrible, because she's just like so sterile like throughout the trilogy. But like, so there's things like that in the prequels where it's like, Hayden is just crushing it in that moment, and she's just very PH7 as she was, and whenever I think of Padme, I think of blind. So it was interesting, but I mean, to me, that's one of the best scenes in all of Star Wars, and I just I think it evokes like a lot of feelings that probably any of us, if we had that power in that moment, wouldn't we do the exact same thing?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
got a favorite? Have you got a favorite moment in Star Wars, Victoria?
Favorite moment. It's hard to pick one, but I know I mentioned the Cantina already, so that's that's probably it. That's probably the one. Like out of everything, I just love everything about the Cantina. But I mean, there's some really important moments, of course. Vader confirming Luke's parentage is pretty important.
Mhm.
In the prequels, you guys are talking about the Tuscan Village. That's quite a moment in that movie. Revenge of the Sith has many moments in it.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith is amazing. It's an amazing movie. It really is. Well, that and I think of the Yoda scenes, like on Dagobah, like it's like Zen quotes one after the other that still to this day you can apply to your life. I mean, they're valuable life lessons, and same with Jedi, and then to me Obi-Wan is just the best one-liners because of the delivery, and then he's just Obi-Wan's my favorite of all time, but I love his one-liners.
Yeah.
My favorite is Another Happy Landing. That's one I like just crash. They crash that ship. You know what I mean? So Ewan McGregor was epic in that role. I can't wait for Obi-Wan series. Cannot wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And the prequels, I know a lot of people see them in a different light now, but I mean the genius of it in those films is that is just the way that Anakin turns, really, because
Mhm.
a lot of people, when episode 1 came out, why are we following this little kid? Why do we care? And the whole point of the prequel trilogy was to show, how the path to hell is paved with good intentions. He is a good little kid. He's pure. Then he's exposed to these other things along the way, and his motivations are still there. He wants to save his mom. I mean, who wouldn't? He wants to save his wife. Who wouldn't? He's just trying to. He's not a bad person. He makes these choices, and then ultimately, look where he ends up because of them. So it's just
Yeah.
I mean, they're solid movies. I mean, there's problems that I have with them too, but
Yeah.
I appreciate them a lot more now than I did before.
Well, and I think that's a great life lesson to not make fear-based decisions, because that's basically what that him becoming Vader was purely fear-based, right? Fear of loss, and that's just a great life lesson for all of us. Just do not make fear-based decisions.
Yeah, totally.
We normally do pivot to start talking about TV and movies. I'm just conscious, Victoria, we've been going 1 hour and 50 minutes, and I didn't say this, but we're obviously honoured to have you. So don't feel as though you have to stay. Whenever you need to go, please say so, because we have a habit. I mean, last episode, I think we went on for 2.5 hours. So
2.5, yeah.
we will keep
good.
going. So just wanted to say that whenever you need to dip out, don't please do so.
So Salacious, can I ask real quick? Do we want to just do a quick preview of the surprise unboxing candidates for tonight?
Ooh, okay, let's do this. So this is another thing that's become a bit of a feature of our show. The chat seem to like us unboxing toys. The visceral sound of opening the package, the plastic, and these guys have suckered me into this because I normally used to hate taking toys out. So we normally put some candidates up. So come then, dude. Who are your candidates for unboxing tonight, dude?
So I got 3 good ones for tonight. I do need a little dopamine. It's been a long week for me, but so we got Deathlock.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, big fan of that. We have
Shatterstar.
No, Invincible Iron Man.
Every week.
Oh, that's top for me at the moment.
And Nightcrawler.
Ooh. So you already have one of those, I think.
Not unboxed. Nope. This is my guy. So
yeah, I'd like one of those. Oh, you just got that in a haul recently.
Yep. Yeah, I picked Big Bag Toy Store actually, $22, and he's very expensive. If you try to hunt for him, he is not. Any of the '90s X-Men are $40 to $100. So I was pretty excited to grab this guy. So Nightcrawler, Invincible Iron Man. Definitely.
John's going. Let's go, Shatterstar. Let's go.
Someday, guys. I'm not emotionally ready to open Shatterstar right now.
Mr. Josh is saying Nightcrawler.
That's a
I'd
great
go
figure. I'm
with-
going to have to see if it's still available.
All right, we got a couple votes for Nightcrawler. All right, what do you guys got tonight?
Which one?
Hold on, that's
I can't see. You got a glare.
hold on a minute. Let's move you.
Wolverine,
Sorry.
Wolverine, or Iron Patriot?
Ooh, do that Wolverine because that'd be cool to see that Wolverine.
Hold on, Reese's. 1 second.
So one of those.
Okay. Moving people
Sean,
around
what
a
do you
bit.
All right, I'll make mine pretty easy. I've got 2 X-Men. We got Danny Moonstar, or who's that, X-23? Something like that.
X-23, yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
of course,
X-23.
come on, guys. Let's do another Masters of the Universe. I got to open Tila for my
Dude,
daughter.
I would love to see that Danny
Or,
Moonstar.
of course, we can do Kira.
Oh, I like that,
So,
Kira.
but I'll be right back. I'm going to take my dog out. So she's begging me.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Iron Patriots. Okay,
I
well,
don't know. Iron Patriot has 2, and I see a whole bunch of Wolverine in there.
yeah.
I have that same Iron Patriot. I haven't opened him yet either.
I just want to get to the Bro Thor heads.
I have all the figures to build Dude Thor, and I just haven't opened them yet. So someday I'm going to build that.
So later I'm going to open either Batman or the Joker. Very simple concept there. 50-50. Tell me in the chat, who is it, Batman or Joker? You let us know.
So Victoria, do you have any votes on ours? Which one do you want to see?
One person or
No, I mean like out of all our options, do you any of these in particular you wanted to see that the three of us showed?
I like the ones you have there. I have I have Marvel Legends X-Men.
Ooh,
I stick to the ones that are in the intro of the 90 series. Like any of the ones that were in that intro, I have.
yes,
I
100%.
have all of those. Yeah. And going back to the Sentinel, I'm really kind of regretting not having back that because I don't have room for it. And that was the thing. Like, I'm not a huge Marvel Legends person, but I do have a good number of them. But that was kind of why I didn't do that one. But yeah, no, that would have been a good one to have for sure. But yeah, I like your picks there, the ones that you have.
To me, the 90s X-Men are the best Legends. They're my favorite Legends. And part of it's probably the nostalgia of just growing up, and I love watching that show. But I have all of them from the intro now. I don't have all of them unboxed because I unbox stuff, but I also have a very hard time unboxing stuff. I'm like 50-50. But I have all of them except the Blue Beast. So that's my white whale right now to get that one.
That's a good figure.
I hope someday they re-release it because it's cost prohibitive right now for sure to buy that.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like all right. So we want to go to what do we want to do now, Salacious?
We're now on to TV and movies.
Nice.
So what's everyone been watching? Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go. I watched, as you guys know, I spent quite a bit of time alone last few weeks watching TV. So this week I watched Fight Club on Monday night, and then I watched Big Lebowski, which is my favorite movie of all time, Tuesday night. It was my last night in quarantine, so I celebrated with some fish food, Ben and Jerry's, and watched that. And then I did watch Ted Lasso all the way through. That is my new favorite show. I love that show. It made me so happy watching it. So that was a gem. And then I did watch Watchmen finally on HBO, and I liked it at first, and then I just felt the last 3 episodes meandered, and I ended up not liking it in the end. Because then of course we got another big sky beam at the end of a movie or show, and I'm kind of sky beamed out. But I think it was worth a watch, but not revisiting it. So that's what I watched this week. How about you guys?
I started the Doom Patrol, but I don't know if I'm going to continue unless somebody tells me it gets better. And then we've been watching some K-dramas, so that's pretty much it. I'm catching up on Kim's Convenience because season 5 should be dropping on Netflix pretty soon.
That just got canceled, didn't it? I've never
Yeah.
seen it, but I saw all the stuff. Yeah. So are you a big fan of that one?
Yeah, I think it kind of hits home a little bit home for me just because of some of the cultural stuff.
Mhm.
I relate to it. The guy who plays the dad in the show, he was in the Mandalorian. He was the X-wing pilot, Carson
Oh yeah,
Teva.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I was kind of glad to see him in that Star Wars. And I'm kind of hoping maybe he shows up in that Rogue One because he's pretty funny.
Yeah, I liked him in that role. I thought it was pretty good.
So
Kind of like a little bit of dry humor.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Dude, did you see Retro Blasting's video the other day about the Pride of X-Men, which was the pilot X-Men cartoon that came out prior
No.
to? Oh, you need to check that out. It's a
So
good video.
What channel is it?
It's a Retro Blasting, so it's Michael, isn't it, from Retro Blasting? He
All right,
did
never
it's a
heard
mini.
of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing. So apparently, I think it was pretty shortly after Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Mhm.
They were going to make an X-Men series, so they made a pilot. It's called The Pride of X-Men. It's a one-off episode because it was never then syndicated. But it's it's quite interesting, and an X-Man fan would love it. So Steve
That's
O's
cool.
point.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Oh, somebody's
Thanks,
talking
Steve-O.
about the show For All Mankind. Have you guys seen that? It's on the Apple TV Plus.
I did. I watched the first 2 episodes, so I think I'm gonna like. It didn't. I thought it was super well. I thought it was very well done, like very, very well done. I liked it, but it did like suck me in where I wanted to keep going. So I think it's something I'll just watch, like an episode here and then an episode, in a few days. But yeah, I think it's worth watching. But it was very well done, and I think it's a super interesting premise where Russia beats the United States to the moon, and what happens. I think that's a very, very cool premise.
There was a show that came on a while ago, and I think it was a really good premise too, but I think they kind of blew it in like the first episode. It was supposed to be like this ship was like on this like 100-year voyage or something like that to another star system where these people were going to like save humanity and populate another world. And they're like halfway there, and there's like a murder on the spaceship. So the only detective is some guy who's going to go to the library and read some detective books, right? And try to solve this, and try to solve this murder. So the idea is it's self-contained, like everybody was born on the ship as like in their, 30s and 30s or whatever. And then you barely have any of the original people left because they've all passed. But it turns out like they're actually in a laboratory experiment. They're actually like in some silo on Earth, and they just think they're traveling through space.
Yeah, and that was a cool twist when I watched that. I like that.
I just think they gave that away too soon. Yeah,
they could have held that longer for sure.
Yeah.
But it was a cool thought. Like, what a cool idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? And feasible if you consider how governments manipulate their people, right? So I mean, totally feasible that someone would do that.
For a long, what's it? Okay, John's leaving. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it was interesting.
I know the show you're talking about now. I can't think of the name of it either. It'll be a thought grenade. I'll interject in like 20 minutes and I'll yell out the name. So pull the pin and throw it now.
Just want to say good. Sorry, just want to say goodbye to Super Awesome Geek. Sorry, we're talking over each other. Sorry, Vern.
I was waiting for you.
We do this sometimes, Victoria. This is only our 10th episode, so we're still a little bit raw. Yeah. I just wanted to say goodbye to Super Awesome Geek, who's off, but thanks for joining us, John.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, John. Great support to us. Victoria, what have you been watching recently? Anything interesting? TVs or movies or... Did you watch WandaVision?
Oh yeah, of course I did. I loved it. I totally. I like when Hot Toys announced the 2 figures this week. Scarlet Witch and Vision. I jumped on those because.
Did you really? Nice.
Yeah.
So how much are the Hot Toys?
I'd like to see those.
How much are the Hot Toys in comparison to the Legends?
The Scarlet Witch I think was 275, and Vision was 250, I think. But
Holy
Sideshow
cow.
has payment plans, and they're not coming out until next year. So, those payment plans can be really dangerous. But,
Yeah, that's how I got that Grugo. Well, you can't see him, but you got a Grugo too, didn't you?
For the Hot Toys one?
Life size. No, Sideshow.
I don't have the Sideshow one. I am making payments currently on the Hot Toys version.
Show us your Grogu, Sean. Come on, show us your Grogu.
Well, he's tucked down way down here. I don't know if I can get him in there. You can't see him, man.
He's so cute.
Can you see him? I don't know.
Look, there he is. Look at his little cheeks.
Yeah,
Look at his little cheeks.
But he's cool. He keeps me company. Watches over, all the rest of the action figures. So.
Yeah, I did see pictures of the Legends and the Hot Toys, Wanda and Vision. I thought they were exceptional, and I think that they nailed her MCU outfit now. I mean, that is the comic accurate Scarlet Witch outfit. I thought that was outstanding. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Is there a Disney Plus series that you're looking forward to, Victoria?
All of them.
All of them.
All the Star Wars ones that are coming. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, there's so many, but I'm gonna watch them all.
So what do you have? One from Marvel and then one from Star Wars that you're most looking forward to?
For Marvel, Loki, definitely, and
Me too.
And for Star Wars, Obi-Wan.
Nice. You have exquisite taste. Those are mine as well. And I can't wait I'm going to watch all of them, and I can't wait. But those are the two that I am super, super excited for. I mean,
I'm ready for
dude, we're going to see Obi-Wan Vader 2. I mean, we're going to see Obi-Wan Vader 2, or the Obi-Wan Vader, 2, because he was Vader in Revenge of the Sith. So I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be mind-blowing.
So I have a question just for the group. Unless you guys talked about it when I was gone, who thinks that Zack Snyder Justice League is going to be the movie that we actually wanted to see?
Look, I liked Batman vs Superman, so I'm all in Snyderverse, all in. Chips are in.
So I put him in the J.J. Abrams category of directors.
That's cool. I like
dude.
J.J. Abrams, though. That's how we say, we don't get along on a lot of topics, but we don't argue and hate each other over it because of action figures.
No, yeah, no, it's okay. But look, it's okay that our opinions differ, right? It's totally okay that our opinions differ. But for me, I don't enjoy either of their movies. Like, I really don't. Like, I think Zack Snyder makes a beautiful film. It's aesthetically interesting, but it's minimal on dialogue, minimal on character development. And I just, I can't think of one movie I've seen he's done that I've wanted to see again. And same with J.J. Abrams. Like, I would actually say I like Zack Snyder better than, like, to me, J.J. Abrams is is the bottom.
But I don't know how. I don't know how Zack Snyder.
I love Rise of Skywalker, and I like The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
But I didn't. I don't know how Zack Snyder got the DC after The Watchmen. That's what I completely don't understand. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm curious to know, like,
I'm excited about his Superman.
Who would take bets on this new Justice League being a good movie?
Was that Superman?
Better, because I fell asleep 3 times watching Justice League. I just couldn't get into it, and I tried hard.
So you think this new one's going to be the one you were hoping for?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the trailers look good.
I hope it's good. I mean, so think about, like, our age group, right? Like, I was born in 1977, so Superman, Christopher Reeve is like a major part of my childhood. The Nolan Batman. I grew up on watching, the Batman series from the 60s, Adam West Batman, right? So I love DC. I grew up on it. But for me, the only DC movie I've enjoyed is the first Wonder Woman post Nolan trilogy.
Absolutely. And same here.
I want a good DC. Like, I would love a good Batman movie. I would love Superman, and I'm rooting for Justice League, the Snyder Cut, to be good. Like, I'm going to watch it, and I want it to be good. But just history tells me I probably won't think it is, but I'm going in open-minded and I'm rooting for it. Totally rooting for it.
See, and I'm trying to go in without the having already seen the other version, where like you know what I mean? Like if I had seen this, like his version in the theater, would I like it versus do I just like it more than the other version? You know, that's what I'm trying to figure out how to clear my head of, because I don't know. But he does have one coming out for Netflix, right? Like that looks fantastic.
Now, did Zack Snyder make Sucker Punch? Is that the same guy?
I don't know if he did that one.
He did do Sucker Punch.
Yeah, because I love Sucker Punch, man.
I think Victoria should have the casting vote on this, and I think it looked like a Superman figure had jumped off your display into your lap there, and there was a sign from the gods.
It wasn't Superman. It was actually Queel. He committed
sweet.
Shelficide. He jumped off the
Shelficide.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, it
I'll
wasn't
use
his
that
fault.
one.
It wasn't his fault.
That's
It
good.
was IG-11 knocked him over. He fell
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Knocked him
That's
over.
Useless.
Droids.
Yeah, he
That's
let him get killed on season 1. We can blame him.
Yeah.
But I'm a Michael Keaton Batman person. Like anything after that, you know, I'll watch it. But
I love Michael Keaton Batman
Yeah,
too.
you know,
those
I was
movies
a fan
are awesome.
of Val Kilmer Batman. When I don't know why, maybe it was a time in my life, but that Batman Forever to me was magical at the time. I was like 19.
I thought
think,
he
when it
was
came out.
solid.
Yeah.
I thought he was solid as Batman. Yeah, that was a good. I think George Clooney is where things got real weird.
Yeah,
with the bat nipples on the suit and all that. Yeah, you know, I mean, I appreciate Arnold
Yo,
for
Frozen.
being campy. Yeah, I mean that was just fun because it's Arnold. But yeah, I like the Michael Keaton Batman too was, and it was different because
absolutely epic.
there really weren't dark superhero movies at that point. And I think that was a really interesting departure. And I those first two Michael Keaton movies were outstanding.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito as the Penguin was pretty spot on, you know.
yeah.
Oh, dude, he was. Yeah, I mean,
and the way they filmed
Michelle
it was
Michelle
very like
Pfeiffer
a
as
TV
Catwoman.
show.
I mean,
yeah, it was good.
I think, to Sean, your point, I think that they did a good job keeping some of the campiness of the series that we grew up on, but then having it be modernized. Like I really did enjoy those.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone mentioned Lost in the comments, and because we're talking about J.J. Abrams, and I think Lost was an awesome premise, and it had a strong start, but true to J.J. Abrams' form, it was, 40 MacGuffins an episode with like minimal payoffs, and then the ending of that series was beyond frustrating for me because it just didn't go anywhere. But I think that's a lot of what he does is he has interesting premises, lots of little hidden MacGuffins to get you talking, right? Which is smart for like marketing or viral, so I appreciate that. But like I said, the payoffs are minimal to nil in his movies for me.
Now, Victoria, we were rude and we didn't ask you whether you wanted to partake in the unboxing ceremony that we have in our episodes. Are there a couple of figures on hand that you could be tempted to open if the chat were to vote? Or you don't have to. You can stay out of this if you want.
Well, why not? I'm already here, right? So, all right. I showed off some of those New Vintage Collection figures. Where do I have duplicates in here? I gotta see which one has the worst shape or the least, better condition card before I make a decision here.
You are definitely a toy collector.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got Boba Fett and I have Grogu. Tough decision. They're both in excellent shape. This is really tough. Yeah, I guess it'd be those ones because those are the duplicates, and Greep Karga is a duplicate too, but I don't know if he's less exciting or more exciting.
So who are the candidates? Sorry.
I guess we can go with Baby Yoda and Boba Fett.
Okay, so in the chat, let us know. Do you want to see Victoria open Baby Yoda or Boba Fett? Please let us know. Mr. Smuggler saying the child. Let us know who you want Victoria to open. Dude, should we get straight into the unboxings? We've done 2 hours.
Yeah, because I got like 10% left on my phone.
Let's do it. Let's get into the
Let's do it.
unboxings.
All right, who's going? Who wants to go first? Should we have ladies first or
no,
ladies?
I need to decide which
Well,
one's the
looks
better
like
condition card first.
1, 2, 3, 4 Grogu. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Boba Fett. We need a tiebreaker, guys, in the chat.
Let's get Dude going first, whilst Victoria picks out. Let's get Dude going on the unboxing.
All right, you wanna full screen me here?
I'll full screen you. Hold on a sec.
Oh, Vern.
Hold on a minute.
Vern is our go-to full screen guy. Whenever we hit full
Every
screen,
time.
it's always Vern. All right, guys. So I listened to all of you. You voted. Here's Nightcrawler.
Beautiful.
From the Wendigo wave. Pretty solid wave there. All right, so we'll do the slide.
Oh.
Ooh.
On the full experience, please. Full experience.
Look at. So I like how these have this where it kind of comes off and it slides with it, and then so you got this. Look at that big. I love the big bath too. Look how big that thing is.
Oh yeah.
And then, all right, Nightcrawler, get your plastic crack.
Listen to that. Listen to that plastic.
Woo. All right, and I'm not going to take out all the heads, but I'll show them to you just because I don't want to lose them. But he comes with 2 additional heads. Dude, look at that feral Nightcrawler head. That is awesome. I think I'm going to go with that when I put it in the display.
Are you sending me any of those? Along with those Hulk heads?
Vern is the head keeper. The headmaster.
His hand's pretty tight, so I'm not going to mess with the sword now but he comes with this sweet cutlass right here. Check that out.
Nice.
And then look at that. Look at that face, man. Look how cool that is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, let's see.
You can use that sword if you're making martinis later.
Dude, check out. He's got butterfly shoulder joints. You know, he's got a cut and a twist, and then double pin joints. But then check out his feet. They got his feet right. You see those?
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Nice webbing.
Yeah, and then the tail, as Vern just said. Ooh, and the tail moves, too. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that.
Yeah, that's such an amazing
rotates 360. Figure. That is really cool, man. Oh, he's going to go right up in my 90s X-Men display. So I'll put some pics up on Twitter later of him joining the team. Great call tonight, guys, in chat. I'm so happy I finally opened this, dude. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations, man. Yeah, I did scroll up and see who my vote was. So before my battery dies, I'll go ahead and do that. But everybody in chat, at least 6 people, had mentioned they wanted to see X23. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But what an awesome figure. All right, I'm going to slide her out. And this one I actually got on clearance for pretty cheap. But there you go.
Nice.
You have her, but she does look pretty sweet, man. I'm gonna love that on display. But I guess she only comes with 2 claws. But yeah, that's a good looking figure, huh?
Yeah, that's cool. I like the hair sculpt on it.
We all love our lady action figures, man. No doubt about that. But look at that sweetness.
Sweet.
Yeah, pretty cool. Thanks, guys. Oh, look at her boots. Look how trippy those are. I've never seen a Marvel Legends with those boots.
Yeah, aren't those cool?
Yeah.
And I love her 2 claws too. How they come out. Those are neat.
Yeah, and the face mold looks really good too.
Yeah, she's a great figure.
How was she a peg warmer? I don't understand. 2 per case or something? Or little boys don't want these.
Just wasn't a popular figure for some reason.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. But yeah, that's that. Oh, and the Build-A-Figure body. Not sure who that is. But I'll never use it.
Sasquatch?
Yeah. Yep, Marvel Sasquatch. There's the Build-A-Figure. If anybody needs it, let me know.
That's a good wave too with Deathlock. Actually, no, I already have that Sasquatch because we already have X23.
You know, it looked cool in that Sasquatch as a Hulk head.
Yeah.
The man is obsessed.
Yeah, so whoever's up next, let's rock and roll.
Who's going? Who wants to go?
All right, I got my
Vern.
Wolverine here.
You're tagging Vern in.
Ah, darn it! Not even ready.
Come on, Vern.
I'll do the same slide.
The sound of the plastic.
Don't you just love the feel of the slide? I love that.
I do like that side box open. I won't take out the other head, but you can see one of them. He's got his teeth
Nice.
for grinning, and the other one's mouth is closed. I've been looking for this guy in the brown outfit, so I'm glad that they did the re-release. And he does have that same butterfly joint or whatever in the front.
Mhm.
And I guess I should have expected it because it's the same, you know, like
Yeah, it's the same
it's on
mold,
this
right?
figure, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but you got that classic brown and yellow that you can't.
yeah, which is the one that I was actually looking for.
That's my second favorite Wolverine after the 90s X-Men one.
Oh, yeah, that looks sweet, Vern.
Oh, mine's coming tomorrow. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, check that out. Comparison.
Really cool.
Which is better? Let us know, guys. Which one do you like better, the yellow or the new old school or the new school?
The claws on those look really good too, because I don't know if they
Yeah.
changed something, but a lot of the time they're like bent or snapped off.
Oh, they're
Mhm.
all like they're all like crossed over each
Mhm.
other all the time. Yeah, those
Yeah,
look
so-
really
so-
good.
This one I actually heated up and then I kind of re-straightened them a little bit. But yeah, this one actually turned out really decent
Nice.
right out of the box. So that's cool.
Damn, this figure is awesome too, man. I'm really digging this one I opened, guys. Thanks in the chat. I was going to pick Tila.
No, dude, that's a great figure.
Yeah,
And the
check
other,
her out, man.
they also have
How
another
sick is that?
X23. There's another X23 that they have that's in the classic 90s X-Men blue and gold, just like the Wolverine one. That's my favorite X23 figure. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Okay, Victoria, are you getting involved?
Yes, I don't know which one got more votes. Did we say it was the child?
Let me scroll back up. It was almost a time. We needed a tiebreaker, so let's see.
Damn.
Damn.
Child, Fett, child. Oh, Boba, child,
Yeah, it's pretty
Boba.
close.
It's close.
Yeah, I guess you
Oh,
pick.
It's the child. Yeah, you pick. I think it's the child.
All right, let's do the child. Have him right here.
Ooh.
We're gonna open the package. Oh my
Ooh.
goodness.
This is going to be exciting. I can't wait to.
All right, I'll
Hopefully,
let
I
you guys.
last.
And I don't do this delicately, so sorry. I don't know if it's ladylike to open a package just by ripping it, but we're gonna do it.
Do it.
Hey, you only live once.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And it came off really good still, too.
It's still
Yeah. Oh. So
Okay.
2 trays.
2 trays, yes. 2 trays. Let's see what we got here. He is small. The Black Series one was too small. I did like all the math and I put it on Twitter one time. I like measured it and it was too small. So I'm gonna do that with this one and see if it's too small too. But there he is.
Ooh,
Aw,
look at that
he's a
guy.
sweetie.
And his ears are down. I love that. That's so sweet because there's none like that yet.
Look how tiny he is. And let's see what else we get in here. We got the frog. Where's the frog? Where did it go?
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh,
There it is.
Froggate.
Where's the frog?
Yummy.
Yum yum yum.
And then
Yum,
the pram
yum.
is in here too. So it comes in 2
Yeah,
pieces.
That
It
is
looks like.
epic.
So we'll
Yeah,
get that.
that guy is cool.
We'll get that out.
I'm excited about the vintage collection, fellas. I know Vern doesn't care. Vern's like, ah.
Well, that's a vintage collection figure, right?
Right.
What's the size comparison between that and
Yeah.
the Black Series one?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see, but
They
it's
look-
it's noticeably smaller than the Black Series one.
Okay.
Here, the pram's 2-piece.
Yeah,
there.
that pram is sweet.
And that's the inside of it.
Oh,
And
that's
that's is it? Do we get one of those with the crest, but like a metallized one?
It has the second version of the pram that Quill made,
Yeah.
the more vac metal looking one. so we can put him inside, and we'll put him to sleep. So we'll put him in there, and we'll see how this closes up. So it looks like it closes the same way the 6-inch version does. It's got little tabs on the sides.
Oh, that is sweet.
So let's see if I can get it to. Oh, this is interesting. It's actually a 3-piece. Like the back part just came off. That's different. That's interesting. So, all right. So that part goes on first, and this is more complex than I thought it was going to be. And then I guess the lid part goes on next. It's a little tricky to get it on there. There we go. Yeah. Yay.
Awesome. Cadbury's cream egg.
I know it just looks like a Cadbury egg. Yeah, I like
Yummy.
it. Pretty cool.
Yummy. Cool. Oh, he's a sweetie.
He's got one peg hole in the bottom if anybody's curious.
Oh, that's cool. Right, we've lost the dude. I don't know where the dude's gone. And Sean.
His battery died, he said.
So I'll be quick then. I'll get onto the Joker to wrap up our episode. Oh, here's the dude. The dude's back.
Sorry, I just froze.
Here's the Joker. I've already taken the cut the plastic from the back because I know McFarlane insists on having those plastic tags. So I'm going to be a bit brutal as well. Oh, I can't do this from Bob. In fact, hold on a second. Give you some sound. There we go. Here, Sally. What do you reckon?
Look at the face on that guy.
Nice face sculpt. Nice Gotham tactical jacket, I think that is. Let's turn him around. Tight little booty for the Joker. Got quite slender legs. Ball joints. There we go. Let's put him next to Sally. There you go, Salacious. Thanks, Bob.
That's cool. I like the suit he's in, too. That's a neat iteration of the Joker.
Yeah, that's really neat.
It's really cool.
Right.
Nice.
We've been going 2 hours and 22 minutes. I think we need to end there. We can't do any better than that for the climax, can we? That's all opening toys on camera. You can't do better than that. So
I love it. Hey, I had an idea. Was that our 4th or our 5th unboxing? It's either 4th or 5th. So maybe next time we could bring all of our surprise unboxings we've done on the live stream and just line them all up, and then we could have the audience vote who has the best collection of surprise unboxings so far.
Good plan. Good plan. So we'll just just go back to the chat for a second to finish up. So glad, Mr. Smuggler says, so glad you opened Grogu. He looks sweet.
And you know what? I just he's on my shirt too, so it just made sense for that to happen. So
that's
Destiny.
Awesome.
Destiny. It's the Force.
Ooh, Gilster. I love that idea. Yes. That would be awesome, just like they did with Stan Lee.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, George Lucas Black Series figure.
That would
Very
be
cool. So
speaking of odd figures, what was his name? Baron Papanoida?
Baron Papanoida.
Yeah, that's his character name.
So
yeah.
Dude, give me a Baron Papanoida Black Series figure. And John Williams was wasn't he in Rise of Skywalker as like a tinkerer?
Uh-huh.
Dude, yes, do those figures. I make them a 2-pack and I will buy them right now. That would be awesome. Yes. Great idea, Gilster. Nailed it.
Well done, Gilster. You got unanimous approval there. Yeah, Mr. Josh
Gold
would buy
star
it
for
too.
Gilster.
Mr. Josh likes Joker's booty. I thought he would. I threw that one in there for him. I knew you would comment. Black Series George Lucas would be cool, just like the legend Stan Lee. Yonald, nice smile. That's got to be for the Joker. Mr. Josh had to get the Stan Lee.
Yeah, I've got that Stanley too.
The chat has been amazing tonight. We've had so many awesome questions, and you guys have been with us for nearly 2.5 hours. Ghost stream, great stream. Yeah, thank you guys. Amazing.
There was a whole conversation in the chat, by the way, about whether they did that HasLab on the figures, whether or not it was like a Hasbro said that nobody would back it, and then they were like saying, well, there's 1 million people who collect figures, so absolutely they would get enough backers. It was great.
I know my hosting's been shocking tonight, to be honest. I'll apologise. I think I've been a bit starstruck by Victoria, and I've not kept my eye on the chat very well. So sorry, everyone. I'll do better next time. Mr. Josh, great show, everyone. Thank you, Victoria. Mr. Smuggler picked up the George Lucas in Stormtrooper disguise a while ago. And Mr. Josh is putting out your YouTube address there for anyone. I think everyone is already subscribed, but there it is if you haven't. Is there something else, just before we finish, Victoria? Is there a project or something you're working on that you want to talk about just briefly? Maybe it's your podcast or something that's going on.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say, thank you guys so much for having me. It's been fun. I've enjoyed being here and chatting toys and Star Wars and everything. And it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm always doing things. I'm on YouTube. The link's there. We're on the podcast. There's the Cantina Chatter podcast. That's like the Star Wars targeted podcast. But so too is the Vintage Collection. But that's very strictly the Vintage Collection. We don't get into Black Series or the movies really or anything there. There's a Collect Jurassic World. That's my Collect Jurassic podcast that I do with Tim from Collect Jurassic. And we just recorded a new episode last night. So that's going to be coming next week. And then I have my Disney-oriented podcast, Discoveryland, which is on hiatus right now. Season 3 ran last year, and that's on break.
Is that like Disney parks or just Disney broad?
It's Disneyland focused. The history of Disneyland is what it goes
Oh,
into.
awesome.
Yeah, the classic attractions, all the classic Disneyland from the 50s, 60s, and the earlier days.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you did. I'm a huge Disney file. So we're DVC members, and last year was the first year we haven't gone since the year after my youngest daughter was born. So, and sometimes we go twice a year. So that's really, I'd love to listen to that because we were supposed to go to Disneyland last year for spring break, and I was my girl's first trip there, and then I was going to build my lightsaber, and so hopefully maybe hopefully this year we can go maybe towards the end of the year. If you need any pointers or anything on anything Disneyland, I love that park, and I will totally hit you up.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm like I could literally navigate you around Disney World, right? You could just tell me where to go, and I could tell you right now, like how to get there, the restaurant, all that stuff. But I haven't been to Disneyland since I think I was like 10 or 12 with my mom, and so I was really excited for this trip for us to do it. So hopefully end of this year we'll get to go back, or we'll get to go.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I will totally hit you up on tips for sure.
Cool. Those are the places. Of course, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Always doing something. If I'm not working on a video, I'm posting something on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. So, I'm always working on stuff. So, again, thank you guys. It's been a blast.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. This was fun.
Of course, and thanks to everybody in the chat as well.
Yeah, the chat's been awesome as usual. You guys just make the show so much more fun. So thank you to everyone in the chats. Thank you for watching Free Men and a Monkey Lizard and their toys. We are a Dude's Nerdery, Oakhurst Studios. Say goodbye, Vern.
Bye. Goodbye, Bird.
Bye, Vern.
Salacious Rum. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And I'll say goodbye for Sean Solo 8. And thank you to our special guest, Victoria.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. That was awesome. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Please do leave us a friendly comment, subscribe to our channels, and remember to turn on those notifications. There is an audio version of this podcast if you can stand it. We are getting better from week to week. So please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. And remember, monkey lizards are for life, not for spit roasting. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.